So, you want to speedrun Dead Rising 2 off the record, but you don't know where to start. Well, here I'm going to fix that for you. Hi, everybody. My name is Mars. I've been running this game for about 4 months at this point. At the current time of recording this video, it is August 2026. Dead Rising 1 has just turned 20 years old. Yes, I know, crazy. Um, but we're here with the redheaded stepchild of the Dead Rising series, I would say. This is Dead Rising 2 off the record. It is a what if storyline of Dead Rising 2 with Frank West replacing Chuck as the protagonist. But I mean, hey, if you're watching this video, you already know all that. A little bit of padding. Um, So, real quick, I picked up this game a little while ago because, it's played a lot of hours of it over my lifetime and decided to make a tutorial because when I got into the game, there was a single all bosses tutorial made by Ecadisis. This one was made quite a few years back. And when I got into it, it was already slightly outdated. There were a lot of strats that runners were doing that weren't covered in that tutorial. And so I had to use a combination of that and also current runs at the time to learn this game for myself. And after coming to learn the game for myself, there has been even more new strats, some found by me, some found in combination with other people in the community, to the point where when I got into this game, that was already outdated. And now that I've been running and come up with new things, even more so. Um, but that being said, you heard me mention Ecdysis. I'm going to get all of my shout outs out of the way really at the start. Ecdysis, very known horror game speedrunner, including the Dead Rising franchise. He also hosts for a lot of GDQ events in the horror block series. The one that caught my eye in particular was a run of this exact category, Dead Rising 2 off the record, all bosses, new game. Yes, there's a lot of words. This run was done by a runner by the name of Sweedola. Sweedola does runs for this game and a lot of all the other Dead Rising games, but his hotfix caught my eye. This hotfix happened, I want to say about a year ago at this point, but it caught my eye for something that I saw, and I said, I want to do that. On the commentary couch for that was a runner by the name of Hudson. Hudson, along with another runner, Deebs, as far as I'm aware, did a lot of the initial planning and routing for all bosses way back in forever ago land now. So shout outs to them. On top of that, Swede has done co-op and a lot of other things with a runner by the name of Pokesol. Pokey is also an established runner of a lot of Dead Rising games. Helped me a lot personally through learning this. And at the time of recording, Pokesol and I actually have co-op world record. This video isn't really going to go over co-op, but I do plan on making a separate video at a later date going over co-op. So stick around for that. At the time of recording, I do currently have all bosses solo world record, although not uncontested. I do expect that to change, either by Pokey or by another runner by the name of Axelimbus, I believe. Probably butchered that really badly, and if I did, I'm sorry. But I've been yapping for long enough in the little intro section. As you've noticed, as it's already almost been 5 minutes, this video is going to be long. This category, the world record currently stands at like an hour 16 something. I didn't pull it up. I don't have the exact number, but this category is over an hour but that is timed in what we call IGT, in-game time, or LRT, load remove time. What that means is that this game, the cutscenes are not timed. Pause screens are timed, save screens are timed. Cutscenes are not timed in this video game. That means your final time is going to be whatever you have minus the loading zones. Loading zones don't count. This makes it a lot more fair because loading zones are going to be different for everybody depending on your computer, so and so, whatever, blah blah blah. Right? Um, as I mentioned, this is quite an old game at this point. I mean, not old, but this game has been out for 15 years. It is a PC port for Windows Live from 2011. Yes, it is buggy and has some problems. To address some of these problems, there will be a pack of files composed mainly by Pokesol, I believe, and some other runners as well, that aim to bring in some files and stuff that fix a lot of the issues, help with a lot of the issues of this game. You can find that pack in the Dead Rising Speedruns Discord, and I also aim to get it uploaded along with a couple of my practice files up to speedrun.com at some point. Check the page, it might be up by the time I release this video. Get like a speedrunner pack. It's going to fix a lot of things. So, with that being said, with the intro, I am now going to go in and explain a couple of gameplay things that you need to know over the course of the run. Normally, I'd be starting here. I'm actually going to start here from this practice file. That it's about midway through the game. It starts at Run for the Money, which I and a lot of other runners consider to be the hardest mission, or at least the worst one. And I'm going to do this for a couple of reasons. I want to explain a couple of things. So, first of all, the main form of movement in this game, skateboarding. Skateboarding is just really fast. However, it does control kind of weirdly. You're going to see me constantly holding X during this for a lot of this reason. Like, skateboarding is the main reason why you're going to be seeing me hold the X button for 90% of this game. Something else I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention in the intros. Being a weird buggy PC port from way back when, I'm sure you've noticed if you've tried to play this game casually today that controllers don't natively work with it anymore, at least not any controller. A wired Xbox 360 controller will, but like, who's using that in 2026? Sorry guys. Get up to times. So there is a fix for the controller support. This is going to be included in that fixes file, or if not, as separately as a certain version of X360 CE. You can find that on speedrun.com. Speaking of controllers and me holding X, you'll see on the left side of your screen, I do have a controller input display. For the most part, I don't think it's going to be super useful. I mean, a lot of the things in this game are pretty intuitive, but I do think it's nice to have a little insight into my mind, what I'm pressing and why. Just to quickly explain, whenever you see this green line, that is my left stick. This purple line, that is my right stick, or camera stick. Just wanted to briefly explain that, but you're going to be seeing me hold X a lot. While doing this, I'm going to also mention that your skateboard only takes damage when you run something over. You run over a zombie or something. So you're going to be seeing me skateboard around the zombies a lot. This is very important because you want to be able to conserve your skateboard durability for long periods of time. And as I'm talking, I'm just going to go ahead and collect a couple of items here. Just to make some points that I'm going to be making very soon. Your skateboard only takes damage when you run over things. Whether, for the most part, that's zombies, but that's can also be other things such as mercs. What you just saw me do there is called a camera cancel. I'm gonna get back to that very soon. Uh, gonna be mentioning that very, very soon. Um, Another thing is you're going to be seeing me grab gems here. Sorry, I didn't really plan all of this out very well in my mind. You're going to be seeing. Actually, I want to pick that sledgehammer. Okay, I'm just gonna note this checkpoint. Sorry, this is going to be a kind of just a long rambly video. That's more of my style. I was thinking it was going to be like a heavily edited uh chapters, and it's just like it's not really my thing. This brief little intro section is going to be, for the most part, kind of just vibes and routed out as I go along. But once I get into the section where I'm actually talking about things we're going to be doing in the run, that is going to be a lot more intuitive to me. So bear with me, please. Sorry about all that. But you're going to be seeing as I kind of skateboard around. I want to try and avoid as many zombies as possible. You're going to see me take the path of least resistance. Something that helps with that, while you're holding X on the skateboard, you move a lot faster because you're kicking. But you also have way less control. Letting go of X allows you to freely turn a lot easier words. So you're going to be seeing a lot of times when I need to make like a tight turn around some zombies that I'm going to be letting go of X because it just makes things a little easier. What I'm doing currently is I'm gathering up a couple of weapons. I have the two main and melee weapons, I should say, that we're going to use over the course of the run, and I'm going to use that to explain my next point. Use these to explain some next points that I'm going to make. So, let's talk about it. You've already seen me doing it a lot, in a lot of different ways. The camera. So, Frank West is a photojournalist. He comes equipped with his trusty camera. He can use it to take pictures for a little extra experience. But you're not going to be seeing me do this. The reason why, as you just saw, taking pictures with the camera pauses the entire game and it just is really slow and it's just not worth it. That does not mean we're not going to be using the camera, however. The camera is useful for a lot of other things that you might not expect. So, as you've already been seeing me do, picking up an item like this has this whole animation. Thank you, Stacy. I know about the guys at the vaults. I'm ignoring them. So, picking up an item. This has this whole animation here, whereas as soon as you have made contact with the item after you press B, it is already considered in your hand. You do not need to then continue to hold the button or like anything like that. There's just this whole ending animation is just kind of like filler, essentially. As you saw me just pick up that fire hydrant, as soon as it is in my hand, I can pull out my camera and that will... Sorry, I just want to close off this area. I can pull out my camera and that will cancel everything else. Another thing is useful with attacking. So the sledgehammer does a lot of damage and it has a lot of end lag. As you can see, it takes a long time to go back. So then you can use swing, pull a camera. This allows you to use your very high-powered weapons and get rid of the end lag for them. A lot of the other reasons, the laser sword. This is your main melee weapon for a lot of bosses. does a lot of damage, relatively low durability, but it does a lot of damage and has a lot of range. You can see here it has a pretty long end leg, you know, like to put it back away after a swing. But we can use the camera, and that's a lot faster. Yes, this is very broken and hilarious, but we want to get used to doing that instead of doing this. You don't want that. Something else I briefly want to mention in this little section here, but I'm going to be bringing up a lot more later. Um, Inventory. The way the inventory works in this game is that, as you can see here, I have 5 slots currently. When you pick up an item and you pick up another item, this, you see I picked up the skateboard second and went to the right of the book. What this means is that in the order you pick up your items is going to be the order you have your inventory in. This is going to be useful because if you manage that by picking up certain items in certain orders or switching what item you have in your hand when you pick something up, that can make a big difference. So, for example, right, if I pick up the laser sword with the sledgehammer in my hand, the skateboard is 2 slots away. If I want to use the laser sword, I need to switch twice to then do it like that. But if I were to pick up the laser sword with the skateboard in my hand, now this laser sword is next to the skateboard, and that's 1 slot away. This is going to be useful in a lot of situations coming forward. So you can see if I pick up the items in the order of a sledgehammer, laser sword, broadsword, that is the order that they're going to be in the top right of my inventory. Skateboard, sledgehammer, laser sword, broadsword. It makes sense. And I will be briefly talking about situations where I think about my inventory as I go along. But I have yapped for long enough, so now I'm going to go ahead and start the game. So, if you've played this game before, you know that it starts with 2 really long sections of Terror is Reality. There is the first section in the arena where Frank has the wrestling suit on and you're tasked with like just trying to get as much points and money as possible. And then there's the second section with the camera tutorial and the whole escape from the arena section. Both of these are really, really long, and the optimal thing to do is really boring. For the first one, it's knee drop for 3 minutes. For the second one, it's literally do nothing for 2.5 minutes and then get your ass beat. Because that's the fastest way to exit that section. Yeah, we as runners kind of came together and decided that we don't really want to do either of those things because they're boring, and there is also the chance for failure in the first section because you need enough money and experience or it's going to mess you up throughout the run. It's just easier to start after the camera tutorial because this is where all of the interesting gameplay actually starts. So, this save file is also something I plan to include in that download that I mentioned, but too long didn't read. We can use a save file that starts after the camera tutorial and after Frank escapes from the arena and makes it to the safe house for the first time. You'll notice that this file is at level 2 and it has $39,000. These numbers don't need to be exact, but you do want to start at level 2 because that's when you get your first inventory slot. And you want, I believe it's 37 or 38. No, I think with this route, the new route, you want at least 38k. So you can just use this file, or you can use a file that has at least 38k and it starts at level 2. Unlike Dead Rising 2, the original, this game's level ups are static, and you get the same thing on every single level up. In that game, they're like random. It is not guaranteed you'll get an inventory slot or a combo card or whatever health when you level up. Whereas in this game, everything is predetermined. But for this first section, you're just going to see me walk through the halls, take the straightest line possible. You're going to want to pick up this key. Now, the security box keys are going to be useful later on when we go to the bank, and I'm going to mention that a lot later. But for now, just know that we need to grab the key. So, we need to get into the skate shop because that's where our skateboards are. And as you heard me mention earlier, the skateboard is our main form of movement. Just kick the glass. If you are not facing the glass directly enough, you can get stopped when you jump kick the glass and instead of going straight through it. So just kind of face the glass directly when you kick it. This first skateboard durability is not going to matter too much because we're going to be dropping it very soon. Now, there is a key in this store, in this little like luggage storage store, whatever. There's a lot of things in the way here. There's this rack here. There's this sign. The key is over here behind the register. The best way to get this key is to just skateboard to the middle and go to the right of the suitcase. Like that. And then you just want to go on over to the pharmacy. Now let me do this one time without stopping, just so you can see what it looks like. But all you're going to do is walk. In this section, I actually just hold straight forward on my analog stick, and I like to use my camera to turn Frank, but a little personal preference. Just take the straightest line possible. Get as close to the walls as you can. Boom. Remember, every single time that you pick up an item, you want to camera cancel. You want to really get that into your muscle memory because it's going to save a lot of time over the course of the run. So there you go. Kick the glass. You want to grab this handgun? I didn't mention it, but we're going to be using that on the looters. So you want to grab the handgun, grab 3 skateboards, and then you are going to skate on over to the pharmacy. Like what you just saw me do there, camera canceling is also the fastest way to get off of your skateboard. Otherwise, you have this really long animation. I'll do it right here. You have this animation here where you have to like kick up the skateboard and then you can move. But it's a lot faster to just use your camera. For a lot of the answers to things in this game, it's use your camera. Like that. Handgun in your hand, and we're gonna fight the looters. So there is a little bit of a strat here that makes it easier. So these looters would die to 2 shots to the head, right? But if you just shoot them in the head, you'll get this long animation where they fall over like that. That's not what you want. If you shoot them directly in the head, they'll trip over onto the ground, and then you have to wait for them to get up before you can shoot them again. But if you shoot them in the stomach or the chest, they'll get this stumble animation just like that. While that stumble is happening, shoot them in the head twice, because them being able to be knocked over cannot happen while that stumble is going on. So you want to 1 shot to the stomach, 2 shots to the head for each looter. It's a little more difficult when I have this clock popping up over my screen. You wouldn't normally have this if you were just doing it first load, but whatever. So let me just wait for it to go away. 1 to the head, 1 to the stomach, 2 to the head, like that. Let's see if I can do it really fast. Something like that. And again, as you might have noticed, yes, this is going to be a really long video. Sorry. I have a lot to talk about, and the route is already long, so. After that, you're going to go ahead and go to the back room, grab the Zombrex, grab the coffee creamer. The coffee creamer is going to be important later. Something I did not mention yet with Zombrex. There are 4 times throughout the course of this game story mode where Frank has to take the Zombrex. I'm going to mention this in a second, sorry. You want to go up to the 2nd floor there, where that, where that store is and grab this sports book. This sports book is going to be very useful. And then you want to go ahead, drop off the top floor and grab the cleats there. Um, these cleats are to the sports fan outfit. I'm gonna do this real quick, just once, while I'm not saying a whole lot. Kill the looters, drop the handgun. Back door, go ahead, grab Zombrex. Don't hop on the counter, grab the coffee creamer, and then just skate on through. You're gonna jump onto the counter, get on the skateboard. This door would normally be open if you didn't load a checkpoint. Pull your camera. Frank can skate upstairs, but he cannot gain speed upstairs. So just whatever speed you have is the speed you have. So that's why you kind of want to stop there and then just get your initial skateboarding speed up the stairs. Boom. Sorry, there's a whole lot of things to talk about in this first section. It's going to get a lot easier as I go through. But there you go. Looks something like that. Grab the sports fan cleats. Make your way back. Now, you notice I haven't not taken my Zombrex yet. The next mission here is coded to start as soon as you take your Zombrex. Normally you would take your Zombrex and then you would go back and then the mission would start, right? But if you enter the safe house and then you take your Zombrex in here, because you're already here, the mission will just start instantly. And you don't have to wait for Frank to take his Zombrex. Another thing about taking Zombrex is it drops whatever's in your hand. You see that skateboard on the ground there? I don't need that skateboard, so I'm not worried about it. So I'm just gonna go on through. But normally, you take Zombrex, it's like a 2-3 second, it's like a 2 or 3 second animation, and then you drop whatever's in your hand, and you need to pick whatever's in your hand back up, and then it's just easier to do it that way. Here, the game introduces you to combo cards. We're just gonna immediately hold back to get out of the combo room and continue on. Just gonna go ahead, take the path with the least zombies, try and hit as little zombies as possible. Now, this skateboard as well, we're also gonna drop this one pretty soon, so it's not super important, but you do want it to not break. That sports book that we picked up on the second floor is going to be very useful. It gives 3 times durability to all sports-related items. The skateboard is a sports-related item, so it will take less damage. So that's why you want to pick up the sports book. It's also useful for later on when we're going to pick up the broadsword. The broadsword is also considered a sports-related item, so it's going to have higher durability. What I just did while I was talking is skate on over through the slot ranch. You go through the slot ranch into the food court to go to Yucatan. That's the fastest way to get to Yucatan Casino. As soon as you spawn into Yucatan for the first time, you are going to be greeted by Ted and Snowflake. Ted being our first boss here. Just hold up right to skate on over to where the LMG spawns. Climb up, grab the LMG, and shoot Ted to death. It's pretty simple. You want to kind of strafe left and right because he can shoot you and stagger you otherwise. But yeah. Otherwise, just gonna skate on through here and go through Palisades. For the most part, I think every single time that you were in Yucatan Casino, which I think is 3 times over the course of the run, every single time you're going to be exiting through Palisades. So just be used to going that way. Here we're going to grab our second security key. It's on top of this slot. There's a little strat here where you can get a kick off of the statue there, and it'll conserve your speed. Sorry, I'm going to be doing this a couple times. There's also a lot to talk about here. The beginning of the run is kind of a collectathon, so grab the key, do a kick onto this little statue, and then you'll carry your momentum. Go on over here to this sports store. This is the second piece of the sports fan outfit. I will be talking about that a little bit more later. And go on over here to the center where there is a bar. Bars have blenders. Blenders in this game allow you to make mixed drinks for a variety of different stat boosts. The one we're most interested in is Quick Step currently. So you're going to use that coffee creamer that you had from the pharmacy and the drink cocktail there to make a Quick Step. Go on over here. Grab the sports or the skateboarding book, and then we're going to leave. I'm just going to do that one time in full speed. Go on over. Key. Go on over to the sports store. Cool. Sports fan close. Coffee creamer in your hand. You want to go coffee creamer, drink cocktails, just right next to the blender. While that's happening, there's another key here. Just grab that. Grab the quick step. Another thing is I like to put my skateboard back in my hand before I grab the quick step. This is like kind of how I mentioned earlier about inventory management as I go along. Bam. Drop that skateboard for the skateboarding magazine. So, if you've played this game before, you'll know in the old route we exit out that way. There is a exit that goes to the middle outside area through the sex shop, but actually we're gonna go through Atlantica. We're going to skip getting that key because it was discovered that it's just kind of slower to grab the sports car, kind of unfortunately, in my opinion. So it's just a little better to go through Atlantica, grab this key on your way out in the fountain, and continue on. We're not going to be getting the key in the sex shop at all. We don't need that money. But we will go through that area a little bit later. And go on over here to the hotel and start the Rebecca escort. Something I haven't mentioned is you can just hold start on loading screens and it'll skip a cutscene that's going to start. A little interesting, but remember, like I said, cutscenes aren't timed in this game, so it's not really that big of a deal if you start a cutscene and then skip it, but little cool thing. So with this LMG that I had from Killing Ted, I'm just going to clear out a couple of the zombies on Rebecca's way over. You saw me pick up another key at the start of that escort, by the way. All important. Wait for Rebecca to get on over. Talk to her again. And then go on over here to kill the looters. Now you'll notice that between the two books that I have is the LMG and the Quick Step, and I could have rearranged my inventory there, but there's not really a point because you're going to be dropping both of those things very soon. So with here, I like to skate on over to this hallway, to this little section here where these walls change, and then turn around and kill these two looters. You don't need to do it this way. That's just the way that I do it, and the way I like do it that way because the looters in the further room do aggro you while you're in this hallway. So by the time you turn around, they're going to be there. You don't got to look for them. After you kill all the looters, drink your quick step. Quick step makes you move. I believe it's 3 times faster than normal. Which is, you might be thinking like, yeah, you're in an escort section and an auto scroller, so why does that really matter? Rebecca and also other, survivors following you Spoiler alert: we're not really going to be we're going to be saving one survivor, but whatever. They also move faster because Frank is moving faster. So Rebecca's also getting the benefit of quick step currently. We're just going to wait on over here to this next section. There is a chance that Rebecca can get grabbed by zombies during this escort, and if she does, haha, lol, L. This section is stupid. If she gets grabbed, you just lose a lot of time because she will not be released from the zombies' hold until you go and save her, and it's just not fun. So in the arena, you can go on and jump over the wall like I just did to grab that key. And then you're going to walk on over to grab this standee because you need, well, you don't need to, but you should for the experience. And then you just wait for Rebecca. One thing I do want to mention, as you're jumping over the wall here, there is a trash can right here in front of you to the left. If you land on this trash can, then you don't take fall damage. So, land there, grab the key, continue. Sorry about that. One sec. All right. Anyway, after that, I want to turn around and grab the key there in the room. You'll notice that I dropped the LMG as well. You're not gonna need it, so just go ahead and drop it. And now I just have the skateboard and the 2 books. So sorry, I was drinking water. I've done a lot of talking. So here in Americana, you want to go forward to the barbecue restaurant, just like I did, and we got to do a little bit of parkour. I know, right? Dead Rising is a platformer now, so you want to climb across these lights. You do not need this security key. Only grab the ones that I show you. This security box key. You want to know what's in this box? $100. That's it. Just 100. Yeah, you don't need it. While you're jumping across the lights, you can skip a ledge grab by jumping a little later than you think. The collision on those is jank. Falling loses a lot of time. Please don't fall. Good luck. I believe in you. You got it. At the end there, we grabbed the sports fan face paint, which is the third of the 4 total pieces of the sports fan outfit, but the last one that we actually need. The game is bugged in such a way that it doesn't actually check for the helmet. So despite the fact that we need to pass it a few times, you don't actually need to pick it up, which is really useful because it also allows us to reroute this in this way that we do. So you're gonna go ahead and return back to the safe house. Now, sports fan outfit. Now that I have all the pieces of it, I can talk about it a little bit. The sports fan outfit does a lot of things. The number one most important thing that it does is it gives you, I believe it's a flat like 20 or 30% movement speed buff to your walking. Very useful. Something I also haven't mentioned yet, but I've been doing. So we have this dodge roll. The dodge roll gives you a lot of speed from a standstill, but the standing up animation afterward is very slow. So you ideally want to do a dodge roll to a point where like you can cancel it at the end or for some other reason. You can dodge roll here. And if you do it correctly, oh, a little night cutscene there. If you do it correctly, you can skip the stairs there, but I'm not gonna go back up and try it. Something else I haven't mentioned is the moon jump. Well, I'm just going on over here to our next case, a familiar face, which is applicable more ways than one, but the moon jump. Boom, that's a moon jump. So, with the skateboarding book that I picked up back in Palisades, not only does it give you even more durability to your skateboard, it also gives Frank the ability to jump like this. Um, this game is weird. If you jump on a slope, it boosts how high you go by a lot. Most of the time, it's kind of like a silly fun thing you could do, but it's actually going to be very, very useful right now. But first, we got to say hi to a familiar face. This is Chuck Green. Say hi, Chuck. Bye, Chuck. We're gonna go ahead and to Uranus Zone, the theme park, to fight Brandon, and then we'll be dealing with Chuck afterwards. But when you get in here, you're gonna go ahead and skate off to the left. Now, there's a security room that is locked from the outside that you're meant to do a bunch of platforming, but if you... There you go. Gonna moon jump just like that. On that ledge, you can skip all of the platforming that is normally required to get up here. The reason why you want to get in here is you need this security key. That one's very important, and you want to grab the shotgun off the wall. That shotgun can't be camera canceled. It's just a different animation. It's weird. Don't worry about it. But after grabbing that shotgun, you want to go ahead and skate on over to the bathrooms where Brandon is. Pull out your shotgun. Get ready for the fight. So, Brandon is not a difficult boss, but Brandon is a dangerous boss. The reason for this is that we are still at level 3. Brandon does a lot of damage. So just don't get hit. Very important thing that I need to explain as well in the Brandon boss fight is how attack patterns work in this game. And also damage capping. So I'm going to be here for a little bit. So, I can't even get him to... Okay. Whatever. So, damage cap. You'll notice, if I continue to just spam the shotgun, right? That first shot does a lot of damage, and I'm gonna die here. Lol. That first shot with the shotgun does a lot of damage, but if you shoot him immediately afterwards, the game kind of has a failsafe to prevent you from doing too much damage. So it'll make the second shots do less. And the way you get around this is by just waiting a little bit. So you can get as much damage as possible on every shot. There's that moon jump again. The other thing is that with Brandon's attacks, he has this kind of big swing, like a little spin attack that he does if you're close to him. You want that attack. So you want to go forward to get that attack, but then you want to back up so you don't get hit by him. So Brandon, the strat is what you're going to see me do is to go close enough to him to bait that attack, far enough back that you don't get hit, and then rinse repeat. This is actually a strategy that's going to be used on a couple of different bosses. I like to call it treat this boss like Brandon. So you can see here, I'm waiting on my shots. And I'm also backing up as he goes to get that attack, which baits him to do the same exact attack again. That is kind of what you want. Something I have not mentioned yet, and I will mention in a second. Oh, so there you go. You can also fail this. Fail this loses a lot of time, but you want to get a moon jump off of like the slope, like there. There you go. You can hold A, makes it a little easier, and just let go and use you go over. Now, something I have not yet mentioned. I kind of thought about how I was going to talk about this in the tutorial. I personally do a different route for Run for the Money compared to literally everyone else currently. Maybe some people will pick up my strat, but it has a lot of implications, and the first one here is on Brandon. I'm actually going to keep this shotgun, whereas normally you would drop it. As a result, I want to have ideally 5 shots, but 4 shots also works. So, there you go. Boom. Killed Brandon. I have 5 shots left in the shotgun. I'm not going to drop it just yet. So, turn around. Very important. You need to grab this money case after Brandon. This is the money that TK gave to him to bribe him. But you want to grab it. I don't immediately throw it. I tend to just kind of get it back on my skateboard, and that's going to become very apparent very soon. You want to go on over to the bank. Now, in the bank, we're going to be able to use all of the security keys that we picked up over the course of the beginning section of the run to get a whole lot of money and also a 6-shooter and like 2 boxes of Zombrex. Bank is very, very good. So, hold on. Okay. So, bank is very, very good. And being fast in the bank is also very good. So, immediately, I have to put the money case back in my hand because you can't actually like immediately walk through here. There's like you gotta wait for this door to open. So as the door is opening, I tend to just I didn't even know you could close that. That's hilarious. As this is opening, I tend to just throw the money against the door like that. You'll notice also in the bank something I want to talk about. When you open a box, the money does not become interactable with right away. It's on the floor, and then you can pick it up. Right. With this in mind, the route I take through the bank, is kind of cutting out that waiting time. I'm just gonna do this in full speed. It kind of cuts out that waiting time. This is truly just gonna be it's easier to watch me do it. And just do as I do. So let me just shut up real quick and go through bank. There you go. That's what you want. That's what it's supposed to look like. You want to end up with 540,000 as you're leaving there, and you want to grab the 6-shooter and 2 boxes of Ombrix. One other thing is if you're doing the strat that I do, you want to put your shotgun in your hand before you grab the 6-shooter. This is one of those things earlier, like I was talking about inventory management as I go along. Worry about it now, so I don't need to worry about it later. This will just become apparent later. But you want to put the shotgun in your hand if you have it. If you are not going to do the strat that I do, which is 6-shooter on Randy later, then don't worry about this. But if you want to use the 6-shooter on Randy, then do it that way. And you just kind of skate through those middle piles of money on your way out. Six-shooter on Randy has a lot of really, really cool applications. Even if the fight itself might be slightly slower than the shotgun, which is the normal strat, I think everything surrounding it is a lot better. But here's Chuck. So there's a couple ways to do this. You can just wait till he gets close and shoot faster than that. So he kind of swerves and hopefully gets stuck on the fence. The strat that I do is I walk over to these dark bricks on the ground right here, and then I wait for him to get close and I dodge roll. Hopefully he will get stuck. Now, the damage capping I mentioned with Brandon the shotgun is not exclusive to Brandon. That is every boss in this game. You want to not shoot too fast on Chuck, otherwise you just get less damage. Like if I just... You'll notice like a lot of these aren't hitting, and when they do hit, they do less damage. You don't want that. Especially if you're doing the strat that I'm doing, you need to be able to conserve your 6-shooter ammo as much as possible. I tend to end Chuck with more than 40 is the ideal. Like 40, around like 43 to 45 is somewhere I usually like to end Chuck with. Also, if you're standing as close to him as I am here, you'll notice that the Molotovs he throws actually does a little bit of damage to him. That does affect the damage capping. So trying to shoot him immediately after he throws a Molotov is not always the best thing you can do. In a situation like that where he ran off, he didn't go too far, but I think that happened because I was a little slow. But he can just dip and you lose a million years. You really, really want to get Chuck stuck on the fence so he doesn't go anywhere. But that's enough talking. Let's just try and don't get hit by the Molotovs. I'm missing a lot. 41 is fine. After Chuck is dead, you're just gonna get on your skateboard, go back to the safe house. There's gonna be a lot of sections where I'm just going to say get on your skateboard and go back to the safe house. So I'm gonna just give my voice a little break and do that. Okay. After this, it's gonna be Sign of Life, where you have to go and do the train. The fastest way to get underground to where you need to be for this mission is to go through Palisades. Fastest way to get to Palisades is to go through the Slot Ranch Casino, through the food court, through Yucatan, and go that way. You also might have noticed way back when I was fighting Ted, that I only fought Ted. I did not fight Snowflake. Now, why could that be? So, there's two ways you can deal with Snowflake. You can kill her, or you can actually tame Snowflake by, and normally you would do this by, there's 3 stakes scattered around the map, in Yucatan that you could feed to Snowflake. Snowflake actually starts at half HP, unique among bosses in this game. She starts at half HP, and as you give her stakes, she gains health. And when she's at full health, that is the flag to tell you that she is tamed. In this game, something new to this game compared to Dead Rising 2 is that they introduced a system where if you leave a boss in the middle of a fight, they will slowly regain HP. Normally in Dead Rising 2, if you like did 75% damage to Randy and left and came back before he despawned, he would still have that 75% damage taken. But if you were to do damage and then leave and then come back, he would gain health. I'm sure you can see where this is going. So we left Yucatan way earlier. Snowflake was at half HP, but we've been gone for a long time. So by the time you get back here, she was actually regained all of her HP just by you not being in the area. So you can tame Snowflake by just doing nothing. You can just fight Ted and leave. And when you come back, Snowflake will be tamed. Spoiler alert, this is the only survivor we're going to save throughout the course of the speedrun. Snowflake is also unique among survivors for the fact that normally you need to wait until they're close to you to go through a door. No matter where Snowflake is on the screen, she can always follow you through a door. I've been told this is because this was buggy behavior when you had to wait for Snowflake, but either way, it's nice. You literally you save one survivor of this game, and it's because you don't need to worry about babysitting them. Crazy. Anyway, if you're on your skateboard when this cutscene starts, you can hold down right to not bonk the wall. But all right, the train. This train is very dangerous. This train is full of mercs. They all have assault rifles. The assault rifles in this game are very, very stupid. They stun you and do a lot of damage. And also, they stun you for just enough time that you can get shot again if you're not careful. So, despite you might be thinking like, oh, you could be near full HP. Um, sure, but you can also get wombo comboed by a lot of assault rifles and just die. Um, the fastest way through the train is to just skate. You don't bother killing any of these guys. And I'm gonna show you how I do this. So you'll notice immediately I don't get on my skateboard right away. I tend to take like a step forward because I want a bit of momentum. Run this guy over. Boom, I'm at the end. So on that second turn, you want to take it kind of wide. The reason why is you want this guy to shoot you a little bit earlier. Because if you get shot while you're on your skateboard, the game will automatically put you back on your skateboard and you don't want to get caught on the wall. Other than that, you want to just kind of take a straight line forward and hope that you don't die. um, the train is very difficult. Well, it's not difficult. It's not hard. It's just like you can just get destroyed. So you want to just give that a little bit of practice for sure. Take your Zombrex. This is the only Zombrex in the 4 that Frank takes throughout the course of this game that you cannot skip the animation for. So just take your Zombrex back to a safe house. Fastest way to get back is to go directly forward, kind of from where you spawn. It's going to take you through Americana. You'll notice at the top of the screen, there's the guide arrow. That guide arrow is a liar. It will take you where you need to go, but it doesn't take you where you need to go in the fastest way possible. Don't follow the arrow. The arrow is a liar. You want to go back this way through Americana. Other than that, though, this is simply just another return to the safe house moment. This time with Snowflake in tow, and just like right there, you notice that you don't need Snowflake to be near you to go through a door. So anyway, yeah, Americana. Just gonna go back to Royal Flush the same way you did earlier. Well, I guess this is the first time you go this way. Normally around the lights, but nice bonk. Uh, just something else you've noticed about camera canceling. I've already talked about attacks and about picking up items, but camera canceling can actually apply to like just about any animation in this game. If you bonk a wall, pull out your camera. It's just you can just do that, and it's faster, and it's very funny. But the reason why my HP doesn't matter here is because I'm about to save Snowflake, and she's gonna give me enough experience to get a level up. So whatever. And you definitely want to be at full HP for this, because Run for the Money is quite a lot. It is this is officially the start of what I think of mid game. And there is 3 different bosses you need to do while you're doing this mission, and also a lot of guys with guns. And as I just mentioned, guns are stupid. Because this is going to be a lot to talk about, I'm going to give myself a little break. I will cut it out, so you don't got to worry about it. But there's going to be a lot of talking, so I'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Took a little break, got some food and all that, whatever. We're back. We're here for Run for the Money. Something I will mention real quick. During the Brandon segment, you heard me mention 2 things. One, that you want to put the shotgun in your hand before the 6-shooter. You'll find out why now. And also, I said ideally you want 5 shots, but you can make it work with 4. I'm going to go over both of these things. And again, let me actually pause and talk about this for a second. I do an entirely different route from everyone else in that I use the 6-shooter on Randy. This has other implications. It allows me to skip the entire top section of Palisades besides fighting Slappy. It also allows me to use the 6-shooter on the Yucatan Vault. It allows me to have more LMG ammo, which I value a lot because I use the LMG a lot on Slappy, and I don't have to worry about using it all on Randy. For these reasons, I strongly prefer using the 6-shooter on Randy. Even if that fight ends up being slightly slower, which to be honest, I don't really think it is. I think everything surrounding the route makes it better in my opinion. However, this route is very reliant on your 6-shooter ammo and you being able to be good with the 6-shooter. If you are not as confident in hitting your headshots, if you are wasting a lot more ammo, you might want to consider doing it the quote unquote old way or the classic way and use the shotgun on Randy. I will be going over what I do with the 6-shooter, but I'm also going to be talking about the shotgun, even though I'm not going to be showing it. Maybe I'll show it with like a separate video, but I'm going to go over what I do. So, first off, run for the money. First thing you got to do is go over to Americana. There's going to be 3 different vaults that are overrun by a lot of mercs with guns that you need to go in, destroy the drill, and during Run for the Money, all of these vaults, they spawn a money case. These money cases are going to be very important because we need money. There's going to be a ransom later on and we're going to need to pay it off, so this is the best time to get the most money. With this vault, I just immediately go in, skate to the left. Okay, hold on. Try and show this off and not get owned. With this vault, I try and skate in, immediately go to the left, shoot the guy in the back, shoot the drill. Get out. Get a headshot. All right, well, that's about what it looks like. So let me do that again. Something you might have noticed there. So normally it takes 4 shots from the shotgun to destroy the drill. What happened there is that I got 3 shots off, and then the guy in the back left shot his AR, and it shot the drill for that last bit of damage. You can try and manipulate to do that if you stand just left of the drill and then walk forward. He'll shoot it. If you're already standing behind the drill, he just won't shoot. So let me try and show that off as well. You see, he's just not shooting here because I'm already like he just doesn't have a free line of sight. And if you're too slow, this guy will catch up to you. You can go ahead and kill him if you're worried about it, but you don't really need to if you're fast enough. Money case, boom. Make sure you don't get caught on the doorway. On your way out, you're going to need this broadsword. This broadsword is going to be your main source of melee damage for this entire case, and I would strongly recommend getting used to its combo attack. I'm going to show that off real quick on the mercs. With the broadsword, the main thing you want to do is you want to shoot, or you want to swing the sword twice, and then cancel the second hit. So like, let me just try and walk on over here so I can get shot a little bit less, ideally. So just walk in here. So the broadsword, you have this first swing, and then you have like the second swing comes out relatively fast. That's what I tend to do with the broadsword. You can also just cancel the first swing like this. But I tend to do this. I'm going to show it off on a merc real quick. You know, you wouldn't normally be killing mercs with a broadsword, but this specific attack is going to be very useful when we get to Antoine, so just good to know how to do it. Just like that. Just 2 slashes cancel. And for the merc specifically, they take 3 slashes, so 2 slashes cancel. Another thing about picking up the broadsword, make sure you put your 6-shooter in your hand. So you want to hit left bumper to put the 6-shooter in your hand before you pick up the broadsword. This is going to be useful when you get to Slot Ranch. And also for Slappy, it just sets it up better. and I'll go over that in a second. Sorry, I had to cough. But yeah, you want to just go to the left on this vault, go around the first guy. You can kill him if you're worried, but if you're fast enough, you really don't need to. And also, you need to make sure that you get a headshot there, or the shotgun won't kill the guy. You can throw the money case against the wall like that, or if you could pick it up and throw it out by the broadsword, like you saw me do the first time. Something like that. And then after the sword, you can just do a dodge roll. Because like I said, the dodge roll comes out pretty fast. But, and you're going to cancel it by entering the door. So, one more time. Put the 6-shooter in your hand. Roll over to the door. Boom. Americana done. Now we need to go to Slot Ranch, and also in Slot Ranch, we're gonna, you know, the food court is connected to Slot Ranch, so we're gonna be fighting Antoine as well. So skate on over. Very important. I like to heal here. You cannot heal here and heal a little bit later, but I just like this a little better. You can grab the coffee creamer there. This is a very high value healing item, and it's important to know where that coffee creamer is because we're gonna need to grab that one later as well. So. Go on over here. Now in Slot Ranch, we are going to need to kill all the guys. We need to kill all the guys because this vault is a lot bigger. And, you know, it's just be more damage on your way out. Sorry, I forgot to say, I said I was going to mention the other strat as well. If you're not going to use a 6-shooter on Randy, then you need to be a lot less conservative with your ammo. So just, if you don't need the shotgun after Brandon, you could just use the 6-shooter on all the drills. Just do the exact same thing that I just did, but use the 6-shooter. This is the same no matter what. You're gonna skate on over here to this guy. Kill both of these guys. There's 4 of them in the vault. Just count them up. That could be anywhere. I'm being bad. There's 4 guys on over in the vault, so this first guy by the stage, you don't need to worry about killing him. He'll just kind of stay outside the vault and wait for you. 1, 2. And there's 4 in here. 1. Grab the money case. Use your broadsword to destroy the drill, and then make your way out. If you were going to do the other strat, Where, like I said, you need to be a lot less worried about your 6-shooter because you're not going to be using it. Then just destroy the drill with the 6-shooter here. I believe it takes 6 shots, conveniently enough, easy to remember. So it would look something like this. And then you continue on. And like I said as well, the 6-shooter will only one-shot the mercs if you shoot them in the head. So you got a pretty good aim to be able to do this. Oh, nice. Your health here is a little important. You ideally want to have like... Okay, this is fine. Just have as much health as possible. Because pretty soon you're going to need to go through the hallway through the food court. There's 2 more mercs. Something you'll notice about Run for the Money is they just spawn these guys everywhere. They just drop them off and said, have fun. This guy's always going to shoot you on your way out. It's fine. Just escape past him. Now, normally it would be faster to go on the right escalator because that's the one heading towards food court, and so it would be faster, but the guys are over there, so you don't really want to go that way. Just go ahead and go this way, off toward the left. Now, important thing before we fight Antoine. This fight is going to show off a new use for the camera cancel that is going to be very useful. This is the fight where we're going to abuse the fact that it stops you from being knocked down the most. There's going to be a lot of intentional damage taken in the Antoine fight, so if you are even below 4 blocks, honestly, if you're like 3 blocks, just heal. Just go on over to the left, grab this vodka. There's also beer there on the floor, but the vodka heals more. Just grab the vodka, go to Antoine. Now, I'm going to show you my Antoine strat, because it's mine and it's cool and I made it and it's fun. You can just skateboard straight into Antoine and you'll be on your skateboard when you start the fight. Just get 2 slashes. But I'm going to show you the cool way. Walk on in here with your 6-shooter in hand. Now, as I skip this cutscene, I'm already going to be holding left trigger to aim slightly up and get 1 quick shot on Antoine. After that 1 quick shot, I'm going to do a jump slash and camera cancel it. And then I'm going to just start hitting them. Well, a little bit like that. Messed it up. So, as I skip the cutscene, I'm already holding left trigger. So that's kind of what you want, right? You can get 2 slashes in here after the jump slash. Hold out your camera and just let him hit you. After Antoine hits you, he'll run away like that. He'll just run away. He'll start healing. He'll start like, throwing shit at you. Once he starts running from you like that, you want to pull your 6-shooter and just give him a quick double tap. Just shoot him twice. That will do a lot of damage, and it will also bring him back towards you. Like that. So, really weird thing with Antoine. Okay, let me try and show this off. You'll notice I can hit him here. But if I try and hit him right now, like I could shoot him and then I try and hit him. Normally he doesn't take damage. He took damage there for some reason. This boss is really weird. Antoine normally gets iframes after he does an attack, or like before he does an attack, but he hasn't swung at you, he'll just get iframes for some reason. So it is better after you shoot him to let him swing his weapon at you. Like, he doesn't need to hit you, but he needs to swing at you in order for his iframes to go away. So then you just do that, rinse, repeat. I'm going to try and show that off now. Just get 2 hits. Pull your camera. Let him hit you. And that's what you want. I could have killed them there, but I didn't do the second slash. So the thing about Antoine is you want to wait until he takes at least like a step forward before you shoot him. Because if he's too close to you when you shoot him, it'll kind of skip his whole like, oh, I'm checking for which attack I'm doing, and it'll just immediately hit you. Like, let me try and see if I can show that off. Well, not that. Let's say I get my hits in, and I hit him, shoot him right away. He'll just turn around and hit me. Like that. You cannot. You want to wait until he starts moving. If you shoot him too fast, he'll just turn around and rock you. So just do exactly this. Get your shot in. Get your jump slash. Hit him a couple times. Let him hit you while you're in your camera. Take your 2 shots. Rinse. Like let him attack, and then rinse repeat. You could even kind of like, as you can see, I tend to walk backwards away from Antoine as I'm doing my shots, just to make sure that I'm not going to be too close to him. Just like that. And then after this boss, you just go ahead and put your skateboard in your hand, and then I kind of hold like an up left or like a directly left after I beat Antoine. You're going to be able to see it right now. Let him swing at you. Oh. Well, if you get hit, just shoot him anyway and continue. You want to be careful. Oh, I'm dead here. Oh, I'm not. Surprising. That went a little wrong, so let's try and do that again. Sometimes when he knocks you down, he could do that grapple attack where he shoves food in your mouth and whatever. That does a lot of damage. You really, really don't want to get hit by that. You don't want to get hit by this boss at all to begin. Well, when you're not in your camera at least, because he just walks a lot further away from you, which means you need to close the distance before you can hit him again. So you want it to be something like that. You can also just, you can get the last hit in with the sword. Like as he starts running away, you can hit him with the sword rather than the gun. But regardless, the strat is the same. This boss really can just come down to a science. Get him to do what you want, and then just kind of stun lock him to death, really. But make sure you heal before you start this boss, because otherwise you just will not have enough HP. But that's Antoine. Here, you want to jump over the counter, and then you want to go to the left, because there are mercs there in that candy store. So you want to just go to the left and jump over the fence. And make your way into Yucatan. Alright. So, here's the most important deviation point from what I do versus what everyone else does, okay? As you know, the LMG spawns up there. And we're going to need that for a couple of reasons, but we're going to need that for Slappy and Randy, and we need to make an LMG bike after. I'll talk about that a little later. So, if you're doing the other route that everyone else does, you're going to drop your 6-shooter here. This is why your 6-shooter ammo is less important in that route, because you're going to need to drop it in Yucatan anyway. So, like, you just kind of, like, whatever, right? Like, you use it on the drills, you don't worry about it. What I do is I actually drop the skateboarding book here. And this is another reason why I said to put your 6-shooter in your hand before you pick up the broadsword, is because you want the sword and the LMG next to each other for what the slappy strat I'm about to explain. So you want to do that. I dropped the skateboarding book. We'll be getting it back later. Now, that being said, your durability here It's gonna matter a little bit more in this route for your skateboard, but as long as you were skateboarding fine beforehand, whatever, man. So just my favorite thing about this route is you can use the 6-shooter on these guys. Just make sure you don't miss. Something like that. And then just use your sword to break the drill. I like to heal here. Grab the money. And be on your merry way. Now, if you are doing the other strat where you use the shotgun on Randy rather than the 6-shooter, you would use the LMG on the mercs instead. I don't like this. It is too. I don't like how they get knocked down super easily by it, and I especially don't like having less LMG bullets for what's about to come up next. But this is what it would look like if you were to do it this way. It would look something like that. Grab your money, your heal, whatever. I don't like this. I don't like using the LMG on the mercs here, mostly because I like having more ammo. But again, this is something I invented, I came up with, and it's something I do. I just want to let you know that you have options. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, if you're doing what I do here, take your 6-shooter. And honestly, I have 4 HP. I probably wouldn't even heal here, but for the sake of safety and the tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and heal. You don't usually, unless something goes horribly wrong, you don't usually end up taking that much damage during Slappy, but you might want that extra HP for a strat I'm going to explain when we get there. But leaving Yucatan, again, I'm going to go ahead, just go forward and go to Palisades. Like I said, inventory management as I go along. If you were holding the 6-shooter when you picked up the broadsword, like I said, then you should have 6-shooter, broadsword, LMG here in that order in your inventory. This is going to be important. So with Slappy, you can just go ahead, skate straight up the stairs, activate the fight. So, Slappy, when he is roller skating towards you, you need to knock him down before you can start doing damage. The way to do this is with either a jump kick or a jump slash. You just, well, I missed it, but you start the fight. You want to just double tap to switch over to your broadsword. Stay still here. Just neutral stick. Because you can try and chase him around, but it changes the way he paths towards you, and then you gotta kind of like chase him down or cut him off. Whereas if you just stay still, he'll come straight towards you. And in fact, I like to use the edge of this red carpet here where I'm standing as my visual cue. Once he skates over the carpet, like right here, then I'm getting ready to just do my jump slash. So let me just do that real quick. And then I'm just going to do my 2 slashes here. Now, the melee sequence will always be the same. Okay. The other thing I want to mention is when you do the jump slash on Slappy the first time, he will kind of drop a toy spitball gun. And if you just don't move and you go straight forward, you're going to get hit by it. It'll stun you for a little bit and it do a little bit of damage. But you'll notice that when I do my jump slash, I'm just going to hold slightly up left rather than going directly at Slappy. So I can avoid the gun. From here, he starts spinning with fire. I'm just going to show you how to do this fight with melee first, and then I'll talk about the LMG. So when he starts spinning, you're just going to wait, jump slash him again. I like to count these. I've noticed that, like, it's a little difficult, but you can pick out the distinct sound of when he's, like, kind of turning away from you or towards you. I count it as 8 spins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you would just continue to do that until he dies. Now, something important to note. If you shoot Slappy during this spin, he will pull out his fire spitter and he'll shoot you back. That attack, you cannot camera cancel it. It's just a lot of damage. Like, it's kind of like impossible to avoid. Now watch what happens when he gets out of the spin. He'll just shoot me. Okay. If you're quick and you get a quick jump slash in before he shoots you, it's all fine and you start the cycle again. And that's what I'm going to show off right now. This is another reason why I really like using the 6-shooter on Randy, because it allows me to free up LMG bullets, because I didn't use the LMG at all yet in Yucatan. So I'm going to do the melee sequence as normal, and then I'm going to pull out my LMG, and I like to count. I tap fire 8 shots, the same way that I said that there's 8 spins. Right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What you saw me do right there is the very last flame attack from Slappy during the spins has a lot more knockback for whatever reason. So, like, watch, like, well, not knockback. It's more so like that last hit that can stagger you. I like to just run in and pull out my camera to camera cancel it. This allows me to be closer to him, and it gives me a lot more time to do the jump slash. Gonna try and show this off. So let me shoot him. Also, if you shoot him too early, he'll like get back on the ground like that, and sometimes he can get up from the ground and immediately shoot you. So you kind of just want to wait until he's already spinning. But let me show off what I was talking about with the flames. So you can just stand outside of his range, react. Well, okay, hold on, Slappy. Like you're gonna like cooperate. Shoot at me. Okay. You can stand outside of his range, wait, and try and do a slash, but like you said, like you have very little time once he pulls out his fire spitter to jump slash him. I find it much better to just camera cancel the last hit and go on about your business. If you have like 4 HP, that should never kill you. But if you have like 2 or below, maybe be a little careful, especially if you got hit by the spitball gun spawning. 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, okay. Nice zombie spawn. You can kind of like go towards the store. The closed store. There's less zombies over there, so let me just full speed. Let me get 4 slashes here on the melee sequence. Back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Camera cancel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At this point, when he's done the spin 3 times and you've rinse repeat, just shoot him down with the LMG. You'll kill him before he's able to shoot you most of the time. Look at that HP, man. Let's try and do that without pausing. Ideally, if you're doing exactly what I do, and you do 8 tap fire shots while he's spinning, he'll only spin 3 times. I think he spins like 8 times if you do it in melee only. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. Drop the broadsword. Something I haven't mentioned yet. You're gonna see me make use of a lot of these fade outs, like when a boss dies, something like that. You just have free time to do something that because you're just waiting on the boss to spawn anyway. If you drop the broadsword there while Slappy's dying, you don't lose any time. And this is important for me to bring up because this is going to be important for Carl. I'll explain it when I get there. But just while he's dying, drop the broadsword. You don't need it. Put your skateboard in your hand. Get ready. Because you don't have the skateboarding book, you need to take the stairs down. So you just skate on over here. And other important inventory management thing here. I want the skateboarding book to be left of the sports magazine here. This is going to be important later on. I'll bring it up later when it's important. But I like to put my LMG in my hand when I pick up this book. What you want is skateboarding book, sports book, skateboard. From here, you just go on and skate out toward the entrance to the strip, like I mentioned earlier, to go and fight Randy. Real quick, I am going to load the checkpoint and show what you would do if you were going to use the shotgun on Randy instead of the 6-shooter. So, right now, I wouldn't have the 6-shooter. Slappy's dead. I would have the LMG, broadsword, and both books. I wouldn't have the broadsword. I'd have the LMG, both books, and a skateboard. So what you would do is you would go on over here. And in this route, you pick up a skateboard here. There's another skate shop here. You can just pick up a skateboard because you're already going to be on this floor anyway. So you just go on over here, skate through the top side of Palisades to this gun shop. From here, you would hop the thing, but I don't have the book. You want to grab a shotgun. And then, again, I can't jump here, but you would just jump over the railing and continue on the same way, right? That's what you would do if you were going to use the shotgun on Randy. Again, maybe I'll find a video or I'll use a video of what that looks like, but it's not what I do, so let's continue on. From here, I didn't even check my 6-shooter ammo, but around now, I consider anything around like 15 to 20 bullets to be... Ooh, I didn't do the thing I said. Put the LMG in your hand, that's important. 20 bullets, yeah, there we go. So I was going to say, I didn't even check, but I consider anything between like... Anything more than 15 is very fine for what I'm about to do. So, Randy, in general, is very resistant to bullet damage. He takes a lot less bullet damage for whatever reason, but it is still the fastest way to kill him just because he has a lot of range, so you don't really want to get close to him. You can open this door or you can kick the glass. It doesn't really matter. But so for Randy, you want to put your 6-shooter in your hand before you start the fight. Or actually, it doesn't really matter. You can, like, start the fight with the skateboard or the 6-shooter. You have a bit of time. So, when this fight starts, he's going to start with a big charge at you. The first time that you shoot Randy, he will stagger with the 6-shooter. The first time you shoot him, no matter what, he'll stagger. This is not true for every other time. So here's the thing, right? Your neutral starting position, you are already facing Randy. I could press X here and it would hit him like that, right? But because I shot him so far away, he's just going to look for his attack patterns. And because he's so far away, he's going to start charging again like this. And then I'm just going to get hit. What you want to do is wait. I like to wait until he passes by like the first row of seats here. I'm gonna try and point it out like until he passes like right here. Until he passes like right here, and then you can just don't even ADS. Just press X, hit fire twice because you're already facing him. Just wait for him to get close enough that he won't start a charge again. Then from here, you can do a thing I like to do called treat the boss like Brandon, where you just get close enough to him that he triggers an attack, back up so you don't get hit. The thing about Randy is he's like Brandon with like 3 times the range because he's got a big ass chainsaw. So again, reminder about damage capping. You want to not shoot too fast. You want to get max damage on all of your bullets or close to it. Nice. One thing about Randy is if he hits you, he will taunt you. If you shoot him in the dick as he taunts you like this, well, I messed it up. But if you shoot him like this when he taunts you, what is happening? It's supposed to work. I don't know what's happening. Well, you're supposed to be. Well, you get more damage when you shoot him like that, and also he's supposed to kind of like fall over and give you a bunch of free damage. I don't know why it's not working now, but let's see. But yeah, the more 6-shooter bullets you have here, the better. The more damage you can get on him. But it doesn't really matter because in this route, you have so many LMG bullets that kind of no matter how many 6-shooter bullets you have, unless you're just being really, really bad, you will always have enough ammo to finish Randy. So I can still have over half of my LMG bullets here. You want to make sure, especially if you're doing the other strat, you need to save at least 1 LMG bullet here. That's going to be important. I will mention real quick, if you're going to use the shotgun on Randy, you don't have the 6-shooter. It is essentially the same, but you can just shoot him right away. The shotgun will always stagger him out of his charge. You could just like kind of shoot him and walk forward, or like whatever. You could just shoot him with the shotgun. Same thing about damage capping applies. Don't shoot him too fast. Just shoot him with the shotgun. When the shotgun runs out, switch to the LMG. Be very careful. You'll have a lot less LMG bullets than you will doing this route. So, but yeah, that's essentially Randy. So let me just go ahead and do the fight real quick. That's like all there really is to know. Treat him like Brandon, but he's got a lot more range. Let's see, I should have already been backing up there. There you go. See? If you continuously back up from him the entire time, he won't swing his weapon at all. You don't want that because then you're just moving the whole time and you don't get free time to shoot and you're just doing more dodging. You want to go close enough that he'll actually swing at you and then back up. But there you go. That's Randy. From here, you can like hold it back so you're facing away or toward the exit and just get on your board. Sorry, Danny, my B. You gotta do what you gotta do. Ain't got time to save you. Got speedrunner things to do. From here, you're gonna drive on, or drive. You're going to ride your skateboard on over here. When you defeated Chuck, it gave you this bike trailer key that allows you to access this area with the motorcycle. Dead Rising 2, in addition to introducing combo weapons, also introduced some combo bikes. There are certain items that you can combine with the bike and make different things. The LMG happens to be one of these. You take your 1 LMG, you multiply it, and you tape it to the handlebars of a bike. It is very cool. Also, no matter how much ammo you have, as long as you have 1, it will always be able to be combined. This bike does not have infinite ammo. It still has the same 200 that the regular LMG has. You just can't see it. But in this case, it won't matter because you can't run out, really, unless you just, I don't know. But, yeah. This bike is very useful. Real quick, before I forget. This cop zombie here in front of the SUV has a shotgun. In that case, the the mercs in there shot him, but if they didn't, you can just use your X button to shoot your LMG while you're on the bike and just shoot the guy. Pick up the shotgun. You're gonna use this bike to destroy the armored van for Run for the Money, because these guys' guns are a lot less scary when you're on a bike because you can't be knocked over. So there you go. You just use the LMG bike to destroy the van and carry on about your business. Another thing, real quick, that I like to mention is after destroying the van, I like to think about it as try and line up with this trash can, because you kind of spawn facing it. You kind of spawn like right here. So the more lined up you are with that trash can, just the closer you'll be to the bike when you respawn. But you're just gonna take the bike. Be careful not to run into any of the items there because they can just throw you off. And you're gonna go on over here to where there are gems on the ground. Get off. Pick up the gems. Go into this maintenance room. You're gonna make a laser sword. Now we get the good stuff. You're gonna need this laser sword for Carl, and then 2 of the snipers. 3 of the snipers, kinda. But anyway. Traditionally speaking, people would go on over here, take the bike, you would crash it here and open the pawn shop. Something I've started doing, this is recent, this is only as of like last week. And it's totally fine to open the pawn shop here, but I've kind of started doing it a little bit later after deets. The reason for that is because you only need to get off of the bike one time. You make the laser sword, you get back on the bike, and you just go straight to Americana, as opposed to getting off the bike, make the laser sword, get back on the bike to drive to the pawn shop, to get off the bike, to open the pawn shop, to get back on the bike, to go to Americana. Also, later on, if you do it later, there's just no guys here, you don't have to deal with the guns. So I like to just immediately, like, I'm not going to open the pawn shop there, I just make my laser sword. Very, very funniest application of camera canceling, in my opinion. What is the fastest way to get off a bike moving full speed? Hit the wall. Pull your camera. Yeah, you just saw that. That happened. If you are going full speed, you will bonk the wall, but you can just pull your camera to cancel it. Very, very funny. Go on over here to Americana. Frank is supposed to meet up with Rebecca here in the second floor of the barbecue shack. Rest in peace, Danny. But here he's going to find out that she's kidnapped and being held for ransom. And this is why we needed all that money. But you can just do a quick little moon jump on the stairs. It is supposed to start the mission when you get to the second floor. But if you do the moon jump, then you can access the load zone from the bottom. So, important. Kind of important. You notice the game is prompting me to take Zombrex. I'm not going to take Zombrex here. I'm just going to climb up on the counter, get on my skateboard, and go to Royal Flush to fight Carl. You noticed that I said earlier that you can skip the animation of Zombrex in a lot of different ways. Well, one of them is that you can just take the Zombrex as Carl is dying on the fade out. As long as there is even a frame of you taking Zombrex, the game will have counted you as taking it. But you don't need to watch the whole animation if you do it on the fade out. So you could take the Zombrex there, but you would need to like drop your skateboard and pick it back up, and it's like you just do it later. Speaking of skateboards, if you're doing the route that I did and you did not pick up a skateboard in Palisades, grab a skateboard here before Carl. It's fine, it's right there. Okay. Carl. This guy is the definition of if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Here's the thing about Carl. If you don't get hit at all, it's fine, and it's an easy rinse repeat fight. If you get hit by Carl, he will... First of all, he just does 1,000,000 damage. He can double hit you. He can do a spin, and he'll hit you while you're on the ground before you can even stand back up. And he just does a lot. You don't want that to happen. So be very careful. The other thing about Carl is when he does hit you and you get he gets a knockdown, he'll run away from you and he'll throw a bomb. Not only can this bomb hit you with the physical hitbox of the bomb itself, but like you would expect, it's a bomb and it can explode. So he can just combo you because he'll hit you for a knockdown. He'll throw a bomb, the bomb itself will hit you, and then it'll blow up and you're dead. You just die. Okay. So you want to really, really, really take care and pay attention to not get hit by Carl. When this fight starts, he's just kind of in a neutral position where he's standing there looking around. I like to pull up my laser sword and I do two quick slash. I do one jump slash and then one regular slash or two regular slashes to start the fight. So right there, you see, look what happens there. Like he hits me, boom, bomb hits me, boom, I get blown up. When he gets far enough away, he'll start shooting a shotgun, or like right now, I'm just dead probably. So you really, really, really do not want to get hit by Carl. After you get those two hits with your laser sword, you want to switch to your shotgun, and you want to just back up away from Carl and shoot him with your shotgun. I like to stay in this middle section next to his cart. Let me try and talk about that. Because there's just no zombies that spawn here while you're in this fight. I like to kind of just like back up and kind of go in a circle around this area. Kind of like this. You can also back up away like this way. But here's the thing. Again, one, make sure there's no zombies behind you. Because if you get grabbed by a zombie, you're going to get destroyed by Carl. Because he does not care that you got grabbed by a zombie. He will hit you and cause that knockdown anyway. And the other thing is, if you are all the way over here and you get hit by Carl, he runs all the way back this way toward this area before he starts turning to shoot at you. And you want him to start to turn to shoot at you faster so that you can hit him faster. So the closer you are to the center is just better because he will run less far, essentially. And there's also less of a chance of you getting grabbed by zombies because there's no zombies that spawn there right away, like while you start this fight. They kind of spawn around these edges, but you'll notice that there's like very, very little zombies here in the middle. So I kind of like to just back up like this, go in this circle. You gotta get a really good feel for like, oh, nice. Get a really good feel for like just how much space you have and when you can turn around. Don't want to shoot at him as he's rolling. He won't take damage. Another thing about Carl, just about anything really, you'll notice that once you use all your shots in your shotgun or like any weapon, it'll break. And there's this animation of Frank like kind of being like, "Oh man, my thing broke," and then it just kind of like falls to the ground. That can get you killed. Like you just don't want to get hit by Carl. What I like to do is I like to shoot him until I have one shot left on my shotgun like this, and then I finish the fight with the shotgun because otherwise you shoot it, boom, animation stops, you get hit. I like to just save one shot of my shotgun and then use it to finish the fight. It is just something I have adopted doing because I rather not get hit from my weapon running out. You can time it. You could be like, oh, like I'll just use the weapon when he's like far away from me. I don't think it's worth it, personally. Just wait. I don't know why I did that. But once you have one shot of your shotgun left, you're going to switch to your laser sword and do kind of like what I did just then. You're going to like wait for him to swing at you, and then you're going to hit him with the laser sword, and then wait for him to swing at you, and rinse, repeat. Oh, I got grabbed. And then I got hit. You want to get a slash in when he's doing that taunt or like when he runs away from you, so then he will stop shooting you. You kind of want it to be something like that. Just don't get it. So I'm going to try and do Carl real quick without pauses or... without pauses. So to recap, 2 quick sword swings, switch to your shotgun, run around the center and shoot him with your shotgun until you're at 1 shot, and then you want to use your laser sword until he's almost dead, and then switch back to your shotgun. And the other thing about I was talking about Zombrex and fade outs, you want to take your Zombrex. I'm talking again, and I'm not paying attention. You want to take your Zombrex as the fade out for Carl is happening. So once you shoot the shotgun, or once you shoot or hit him with your laser sword the last time, and he starts dying, take your Zombrex right then. You can just like, because you'll have a slot open because you've used the shotgun, you can hit up on the D-pad to unequip something I haven't talked about. If you don't have anything in your hand, then there's nothing to drop. So just hit up on the D-pad to unequip, and then hit left on the D-pad to take your Zombrex. Now I'm gonna do Carl without stopping. Ideally. Nice. 3, 2, 1. Back up from him. Let him swing at you. Okay, I thought he was gonna start shooting there, which is why I did that, but you really just want to wait until he swings at you like that. Alright. You see how much damage he did to me just then? By the way? That's what I mean about Carl can hit you while you're not. He can hit you when he really just should not be able to. Right here during this fade out, I would take my Zombrex. I'm gonna do that one more time because I really want to just not get hit ideally, because that's kind of what you I mean, yeah, like it sounds simple, right? Like don't get hit, lol. But Carl, you really do not want to get hit. Wait for him to swing again, and I'm gonna start with the laser sword. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, man. I'm dead. Oh, I'm not? Okay, I'm just... I... Hold on. Damn. I keep saying one more time, but I really want to just drive it home how important it is with Carl. Who knows, maybe I'll cut one of those out or something, but... Probably not. Probably not, though. That seems like effort. I'm probably shooting a little too fast here. He took like way less damage than he should have, but that's a great example of damage capping. There you go. Unequip Zombrex. While you still have nothing in your hand and your laser sword, like, you know, you're next to your laser sword, pick up the shotgun that's dropped by Carl, switch over, and skate. Carl does drop a Zombrex. That's kind of his whole thing. So, that is important. We're going to need one more Zombrex for the end of the run, but we get that a little bit later. With Carl done, it is now time for the snipers. So, there's 4 guys on the roof, on different roofs in this area that will constantly snipe at you while you're here. The fastest way to deal with them is by melee, so you need to go to the 4 different roofs where they are and kill them. In terms of actually fighting them, they're pretty much the same, but they do have a little bit of differences in like range and movement speed and stuff. But 3 of them you're going to be fighting with your laser sword, and 1 of them you're going to be fighting with your shotgun. The ones you're going to fight with the shotgun is either the second person, Derek, or the third person, Big Earl. There is a reason to fight either of them with the shotgun. But the first one you want to deal with is Johnny up here on the Royal Flush rooftop. Quick thing to mention about Johnny, and all of them, but this is especially important with Johnny. You want to start the fight by skating over to him, but if you try and swing at him right away, like that, if you try and swing at him before he pulls his melee weapon out, he actually won't take damage. So you can either wait, or what I like to do is skate over, grab the whiskey, and then just start fighting him. Why? Grabbing the whiskey, obviously, it slows you down a little bit because you're doing an action rather than going straight there, which kind of times well, with his invincibility. But also, this whiskey. 1 second, I need some water. Hold on. Yeah. All right. Cool. Also, having this whiskey is useful because if you get messed up by Derek, there's just not really a fast place to get some backup food. I am going to point out where there is some, but it's just fastest to be able to use this whiskey as a healing item if you get messed up by Derek. And even if you do not use it, there is a reason to have it later because you're going to need an alcoholic drink to give to BB anyway. So if you don't use this whiskey, it's actually still not even time loss because you need one anyway. So I would strongly recommend just pick up the whiskey. It slows you down a little bit, which is good because you need to wait a little bit for him to become actionable anyway. And then you can just use it later. So, the thing with all 4 snipers, they have a melee weapon and they have their sniper, right? What you actually want to do is kind of like what I'm doing right now. You want to, if you're close enough to them, they'll pull out their melee weapon. But if you're too far, then they'll pull out their sniper. So if you kind of stand in this weird middle range, then they won't know what to do and they'll keep like this, right? Look at this. If you're standing far, he'll pull out the sniper, and if you're standing close, he'll pull out the melee weapon. So you can get a hit in with your laser sword. And the laser sword has a lot of range, by the way. I don't, hold on. This could happen. I guess I can explain it now. This is called like hyper or full auto or whatever. Sometimes they just ignore the laws of physics with their sniper rifle and start shooting at you full auto. If you're far like this, you'll get hit. But as you saw, 1, you can dodge roll under these. And 2, if you're standing super close to them, they actually just can't hit you. Like, if you're standing further than the barrel of the sniper rifle, you just can't get hit. Just kill him. So if you're fighting any of the 4 and they go into, like, that full auto stance like that, just spam dodge roll until you get close to them and then just wail on them. Like, that, literally, like, that's all you gotta do. If you don't do that, what you want to do is you want to get a hit with your laser sword and then switch, or like not switch. You want to just walk backwards to cause them to change weapons. Or just dodge their melee. You can either dodge their melee attack and hit them, or you can back up like this. And this is essentially how all 4 of these fights are going to go. You're going to use the shotgun on one of them. There's a good reason to use it on either Derek or Big Earl. Personally, I prefer to use it on Big Earl, because the area that you fight him in is a lot smaller, so there's a lot less area to run around to dodge his attacks and get melee in. So that's why I prefer to use it on Big Earl, but you can also use it on Derek. The argument to use it on Derek is that he's the fastest of the 4 for some reason.
He's also the largest, but whatever. He's not Big Earl. Um, he's the fastest, so you could be like, oh, use the shotgun on him because it's slower to chase him down. But I strongly prefer to use it on Big Earl because that area is smaller, and so I just rather not be able to, rather not deal with what are the words I'm trying to say? I'd rather just be able to use the shotgun because there's less room to try and get melee hits in. But this will be important as I come up later, so let me just go ahead and take care of Johnny. Other important thing, actually, real quick, before I'm done with Johnny, damage capping still applies. So even if there's a scenario where like you can hit him twice really fast, like this, you'll notice just how little damage I do on like that third hit, especially. There's like no damage, right? The way more important thing is not only do you get more damage if you wait, but you really need to be careful with your durability for this laser sword. I've already used it on Carl, and I'm gonna use it on Johnny, and I'm gonna use it on Derek, and I'm probably gonna need to use it on Big Earl just a little bit. So you really don't want to swing too fast with your laser sword because you'll A, get way less damage, and B, you're gonna kill your durability, and you really don't want to mess up your durability. That being said, I think that's all of the things I need to explain about snipers for the most part. Like, generally speaking. Obviously, I'm going to talk about like where you need to go, things like that. But yeah. If you're going to pick up the whiskey, by the way, you want to have your laser sword in your hand just so you have like laser sword, whiskey shotgun, or you can go like after, but it's just weird. Like you could also just pick it up straight from having the skateboard, and you just need to cycle twice to the sword, but it's not really that big of a deal. You have a lot of time to do so in these fights, so but you can just have the laser sword in your hand to pick up the whiskey and then switch back. Because, like I said, I'm not even going to use the shotgun until after this fight, so it's really not that big of a deal. Derek, you skate straight across over to this area here. And then he's on the Atlantica rooftop, which is at the end of this hallway. You can do a little roll there because you can cancel and go up the ladder. With Derek, we're gonna start by skating forward and doing a moon jump, just to get a little closer to him. He Most of the time he won't shoot you when you're in the air like that, and then you can just get close to him, and then you just deal with him like Derek. The thing is, or not like Derek, like Johnny. Johnny is the easiest. One, he's not that fast, and also he has a knife, which has a lot less range. Derek and Big Earl have machetes compared to Johnny and Dietz's knives. You see just how fast Derek is, by the way. Um, and so Derek is not only the fastest of the group, but he also has a machete, and so he has a lot of range, and he's also on a really big rooftop. So there is a good argument to use your shotgun there, but I prefer to just take him out with the laser sword. Same rules of fighting him apply as the other guys. Just know that Derek is a little tougher. And yet again, you want to be very careful with your durability. You want to make sure you're not damage capping your hits, because not only will it take longer and you'll do less damage, but you'll take more durability on your sword. And as you can see, it's already blinking. This is normal. It's going to start blinking in this fight, but you really want it to not break in this fight, ideally. If you need to heal after Derek, there are some whiskeys back here, but they're very far away. They're all the way in this back corner. Um, I would not recommend getting it because there's just no way. Like I killed Derek here. Like there's no way that you're gonna kill him anywhere near close enough. But if you need them, they're there. Um, yeah. There is also some backup food you can grab here, but it's again a little slow. I would recommend just picking up the whiskey from Johnny. If I was less HP than 3 blocks, I would heal here, right? You could just heal with this whiskey. It's fine. You can just pick up another beer later, but I don't really need to heal, so I would just continue on. If you did need to heal, there is a hot dog over here across the road, right there. Grab that hot dog if you need to heal. But ideally, when you leave from Derek, you're gonna hug this left wall, and you're gonna go over to where the armored van was destroyed during Run for the Money. You need to go into here, and there's another money case. This is the last one you're gonna need. It's gonna put you at 1 mil. Boom. Just barely over. That's all you need. And then you're just gonna skate through towards Big Earl. But make sure you pick up that money case, because you need it. With Big Earl, as soon as I go over these top of the steps here, I like to do a jump. I find that gets me hit a lot less, because sometimes he will just snipe you as you're on the stairs here. I like to do it like that. As you climb up to him, you want to pull out your shotgun, but once you get onto this next ledge, just do an immediate dodge roll, otherwise he'll hit you. Go forward, and then, yet again, treat him like Brandon moment. Use your shotgun. The thing is, you will always get a level up. Well, you should get a level up after killing Big Earl. So that's why I kind of said, like, if you're gonna heal, do it after Derek. Boom. After you kill him, drop this laser sword that you have, and you can either run and vault over. Like, I killed him here, I would just vault over. If you killed him, like, way back here, you can get on your skateboard and jump. But most of the time, you're gonna kill him here, so just jump over this wall. If you used the whiskey, if you healed after Derek, you used the whiskey, pick up this beer. Just backup food, and you're gonna need alcohol later. Just pick up the beer. There's beer next to Big Earl. Just pick it up. Do it. Right here, we're gonna make another laser sword, just like we did earlier with the gems and the flashlight in here. And then we're gonna go to Dietz, who is over here. Behind this umbrella cinema rooftop. Dietz is supposed to be the leader of the 4. He's like big dog, but he's also got a tiny little knife, just like Johnny, and not a machete like a Big Earl or Derek. So honestly, his fight is pretty standard. Like, I kind of just think Dietz and Johnny are like the 2 easiest, and they're also just kind of like the same fight. Yet again, reminder, swing your laser sword a little slower, because you want to get max damage, and you want to not use too much durability. You're gonna need this sword still. As soon as Dietz is dying, you can dip. Just go, man. Just get up out of here. Go back down here. So, I'm gonna mention 2 things here. One is the standard strat, which would be to go straight over, open the pawn shop, and go to Seymour. If you are scared of Seymour, and realistically you should be, Seymour does a lot of damage. He's like Carl on steroids. He will hit you with his club and do like 4 blocks because he hit you like 3 times. Okay? You also can't shoot Seymour. So even if you bring a gun, it won't really work. You could make a painkiller here. You could go into the bar right here, and you can make a painkiller with whiskey plus whiskey. Painkiller makes you take less damage. It is also like every other mixed drink, it will heal you to basically full HP no matter where you are. And it'll make you take less damage. It can be very useful for Seymour if you are scared of him. If you're scared of Seymour, make a painkiller. If you want to be fast, because realistically, making a painkiller loses probably like almost 30 seconds. Go without it. But you gotta be very careful. But anyway, leaving from Dietz, you go on over, open the pawn shop. if you didn't do it earlier. You can open it during Run for the Money, and if you want to, whatever. Like it's literally like essentially the same time. Like no time lost, no time gained. I just think it's a little easier to do it that way. If you forget to open the pawn shop there, you'll know because Seymour won't spawn. Ask me how I know. Um. Anyway, after opening the pawn shop, you want to just go over to the Fortune City Hotel because we're gonna be fighting Seymour. Um. Seymour, you want to make very good use of the fact that the laser sword has a lot of range. You want to hit him as far away as you can. And then wait for him to attack, swing. If he shoots you with the 6-shooter, it's fine. Like, getting hit by the 6-shooter that he can shoot you with is actually way less dangerous than getting hit by his club. Because, let me just show you. He just, like, both of those swings, like, I know I was at 1 HP there, whatever. If I had, like, 3 blocks, I would have went down to, like, flashing HP there. He can just do a lot by hitting you once. He's not even doing that. The double swing is what really gets you. But he's not doing it, because of course I'm talking about it. But, don't get hit by this guy. Use your range. Get ones. If you think you can hit Seymour twice with the laser sword, you can't and you're lying to yourself. Just back up. Just hit him once. Try not to get hit. If he shoots you with the 6-shooter, it's fine. It does less damage than the club can do. So just kind of dance around him a little bit like you would with the snipers. And that's all it really is to mention with Seymour. Drop the laser sword. Not really much to talk about with that boss. Right here, he drops another 6-shooter. Grab it. If you already have alcohol, either you have the whiskey from Johnny or you grab the beer after Big Earl, skate straight out. If you don't, after you grab the 6-shooter, walk on over here, grab this beer, and then go forward. You are going to need an alcoholic beverage of some variety. I still have that whiskey because I never used it after picking up during Johnny, so I'm good to go. Just go straight forward. Leave. Now we need to do BB. BB is a very unique psychopath in the sense that you don't actually fight her. She sends you on a fetch quest. One of the things for the fetch quest, well, 2 of the things for the fetch quest you already can do ahead of time. You're just gonna enter the royal flush here, and you're gonna go off to the right, and you want to grab a tuxedo. Well, I say want to grab a tuxedo, you have to grab this tuxedo. Because if you don't, then BB will tell you, you're not fancy enough for me. Go and get more fancy. So grab a tuxedo before you get here. We already have 2 of the 3 things done. We have a tuxedo and we have an alcoholic beverage because she's gonna ask you to get her a drink. Just whiskey in your hand. She's gonna be like, "Hey, yo, bring me a drink." Boom, you give her the drink. You can wait, but immediately when you give her the drink, I like to go back here and grab some firecrackers. Because when you come back, she will have already done the drink. And then she tasks you with rounding up fans. You need to throw firecrackers to attract the zombies. You need to make sure that you talk to her the second time. This is something I tend to forget to do every once in a while, and it's really annoying because you lose, like, you don't know if you have enough zombies or not. But you can just, to be safe, you can just give her the drink and wait. Like, if you give her the drink and wait, then when you talk to her again, wow, that's weird. Normally she does, like, drinks it, but whatever, man. This game is weird, but whatever. Grab, there you go. Sometimes she does that drinking animation before you're able to talk to her again. So I like to just give her the drink, get the firecrackers, and talk to her on the way out. But anyway, the firecrackers from backstage, you want to throw them at the stage because she tasks you with gathering an audience for her big show. Um, so yeah, these are actually pretty good spawns. You can get relatively unlucky here and get not like a lot of zombies near the stage, which might not have quite enough. Let's see. In my experience, it is way more likely that the RNG will be good than it will be bad. Like most of the time it'll be average, but I feel like you actually have a higher chance of really good and then like you got completely destroyed, but this might just be me. Like I don't think there's any statistic backing that up, so just hope you don't get unlucky, I guess. I'm gonna start explaining this now, so I can take a little water break during this next section. Um, After this is done, BB's gonna task you with doing a little rhythm game. These spawns are pretty bad. I take it back. BB's gonna task you with doing a little rhythm game. It's very simple. It's the same inputs every time, but this on the second phase, the Y press, because there's a Y is the second to last button. It will always fail for whatever reason. Just don't be alarmed. If it does, you're fine. You can just continue on like normal. I've started just not pressing Y there because it won't fail the sequence, but I don't think it makes a difference. It's just something I've been doing. So yeah. That being said, you only need one hand to do this because you're pressing buttons. So I'm just gonna take a little water break. Ah, let's see. And right there, I just didn't press Y in that second section, and it was fine. If you do press it there, it'll just kind of like end that phase, and it'll act like it failed. It's weird. It doesn't like kill your run or anything. It still continues, but weird game is weird. After the show, you can say BB. You're not going to, but you could. Skateboard on over to Yucatan. We're gonna go fight the twins and save Rebecca now. Twins. The twins are scary. The twins are scary for a lot of, well, two main reasons. One of them is very obvious. There are two of them. So while you only need to fight one of them, the other one is still going to be trying to kill you. So you need to like be aware of where they are. Normally we fight Amber. It doesn't actually matter. We just fight Amber because she's the one who's in front of you when you spawn. But you can fight Amber or Crystal. It really doesn't matter. So I picked up the LMG there, and I'm going to use it. Amber, there's two ways of fighting her. Also, well, real quick, to finish my initial thought. The reason, number one, why it's scary to fight the twins, there are two of them. You need to keep track of both of them. The other reason why it's scary to fight the twins is that you don't have the sports fan outfit. You just picked up this tuxedo because you needed it for BB, and we're going to be getting the sports fan outfit back after this, but you don't have it right now. And way more so than any other point in the game, this is when you realize just how much that speed boost matters. Because you cannot outrun these two. Like, if they're running at you, you cannot outrun them. Nice. Crystal just came up behind me and hit me. There are two ways of dealing with this. You can try and just back up the entire time and You can like just back up the entire time and shoot at her as you walk away. But like I said, she's faster than you. Or you can do what I kind of do. Treat her like Brandon. Just walk forward, let her do her attack, move about your business. Now, again, be very aware of wherever Crystal is while you're fighting here, or Amber if you're fighting Crystal, but most of the time you're fighting Amber. Um, just be very aware of where they are. Crystal's behind me somewhere because I can't see her on the other side. So yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna preemptively switch sides so I can try and face Crystal. Because if I know that she's behind me somewhere, I would rather get on the other side of Amber so I can keep an eye on her. Because you want to ideally be able to dodge her because you don't want her to sneak up behind you and just knock you down and then you get wombo comboed. So, not too much to say about the twins, just know that this fight is super scary for those reasons. Keep an eye out for Crystal, which I'm probably going to get hit by her right now if I had to guess. There she is. Keep an eye out for Crystal and try not to get caught on the terrain and just beware of the fact that you can't really outrun them. Crystal's probably going to come up behind me like pretty soon. But she's in front of me. Nice. You can only use the LMG. If you get really good shots, you can only use the LMG to kill Amber, but most of the time, you won't. You only need either 1 or 2 shots from the 6-shooter. It's not that big of a deal. You want to conserve as much ammo as possible because we're going to need it for later, but 1, 2 shots, whatever. You only need to kill one of them because the other one gets quite upset that you killed her sister and she SDs, so to speak. But anyways, we're going to continue on. After you kill the twins, there is a shotgun on this side of the counter. This is going to be very, very useful for later. This is one of the biggest new strats recently. I want to say in like the last month or so. Mostly developed by me with a little help from Pokey. Using this shotgun is going to save us a lot of time on magicians. So before you pick up the shotgun, there are 3 weapons you want to use on the magicians: the 6-shooter, a little bit, the shotgun, and the laser sword, in that order. So you want to put your 6-shooter in your hand before you pick up the shotgun because you want the shotgun to be next to the 6-shooter and not, whatever. So just put your 6-shooter in your hand before you pick up the shotgun. That's all. That was the TLDR of what I'm saying essentially. But then you're just going to exit out to Palisades again. Like I said earlier, essentially every single time that you're in Yucatan, actually literally every time you're in Yucatan, you're going to be exiting out through Palisades. So you're going to go back on over here to get your sports fan outfit back, to get your movement speed. And then you want to go on over to this toy store where the skateboarding book spawns to grab a toy ray gun. Surprise tool that'll help us later. If you want, put your 6-shooter in your hand before you grab it. It'll just make getting off your board to shoot at some mercs later a little bit easier, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just something that I do. Anyway, we're going to be leaving through Atlantica. We need to get to the hotel roof now because TK is trying to escape in a helicopter. For the helicopter boss fight, normal guns don't really do a lot of damage to the helicopter, funnily enough. What they want you to do is anchor the helicopter down and use throw objects like spotlights and other stuff around the roof into the helicopter to do damage. So thrown objects do a lot more damage. So why do we have a toy gun? So the toy gun isn't a gun, obviously, so it doesn't do bullet damage, but it's also not a melee weapon, so it doesn't do melee damage. The toy gun shoots projectiles that do thrown damage, I'm pretty sure is what happens. So you can see where I'm going with this. Anyway, this is the reason why you want to keep your 6-shooter next to your skateboard, in my opinion. There's going to be 4 mercs you need to kill here. So you just gotta... Bam. Miss a shot. Bam, bam, bam. After you kill those 4 guys, you can just put the toy gun in your hand. There's going to be one more guy in the elevator, but you don't really need to worry. You can just hit the door, hit the button. The elevator will open automatically once you kill all 4 of these guys, but you can also hit the button. It opens a little faster. Just go in, hit the button. All right, once you skip this cutscene, you're going to see me holding like left trigger and up left like this. Boom. That's all you got to do. What happened there is, like I said, the toy gun counts as thrown damage, so you can just kind of erase the helicopter from existence and drop the toy gun when you're done. Here, you're going to see me preemptively hold left, because that's the direction I'm going to need to go. Jump this fence, or the railing, I should say. But yeah, the helicopter is... it is just that easy. That's a fun party trick for anyone who's played this game before. You should show them that. But yeah, you can just obliterate the helicopter instantly if you have the ray gun. It's very, very funny. That's why you get it out of the mystery box, as Swede would say. Anyway, I wanted to make a. Actually, I want to go back. I want to make a save here, not because I would need one for a run, but I want to make a save here because I want a practice save, and it's just a convenient time to do it. My timer's not running, so might as well. Make another practice save here. But yeah, normally you would just go on to the left, jump over the railing like I did, and continue on. So later on, we're going to need to make 2 quick steps. So you can do this one of 2 ways. The traditional way I'm about to show you is that it's also probably a little bit safer, just in case you need backup food, but you really shouldn't for Evan. Gonna go on over here, and remember I mentioned that coffee creamer earlier? So you can just grab coffee creamer right there. Continue on upstairs. Now that we got the money back, we we used the ransom money to save Rebecca. We got it back when we stopped TK. We have the money, so we're gonna use the money to buy a Zombrex and a laser sword in this pawn shop here in Royal Flush, because they sell laser swords here, and as we've already seen, a laser sword is a very, very good melee weapon that we like to use. So I'm gonna go on over here. I'm gonna buy the Zombrex, and remember I mentioned inventory management and what weapons you want to use for magicians? As you walk over here to buy the laser sword, just put the shotgun in your hand, because you want the laser sword to be after the shotgun anyway in your inventory. So you can just kind of do it like that. I'm gonna do this without all the pausing just for the one time. But essentially, okay. Well, huh. I forgot that happens. Sorry, I forgot that sets a checkpoint, but it's fine because I don't need the rest of this money. Don't load a checkpoint there. They will rip you off, and you have to pay money again for the Zombrex. But I tried to show it off, but whatever. As long as you get the coffee creamer, buy the Zombrex, grab your laser sword, make your way out. Now here we're gonna do a really cool trick. We need to get to Evan, right? Evan, we are currently here in Fortune Park. I guess I didn't really explain this, but this outside section is split into 3 areas. The middle here is Fortune Park. Up here is the Silver Strip. This is the area next to like Yucatan and like the underground later, where Randy is. That's Silver Strip. The other area next to the arena is the Platinum Strip. Okay, so we're here in Fortune Park, and we need to get to Evan, who is at the very end of the Platinum Strip over here. That's a long time to skateboard. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, using our handy dandy moon jump again, we're gonna get up onto this fountain, and then we're gonna start holding A to charge our jump, and we're gonna jump on over this wall. To get that jump, you want to already be holding A before you start turning. And then when you jump, you want to turn further right toward the top of the stairs because that's a shorter distance. But if I pull up my map again, right? I skated from here to here. What's going to happen here is I'm going to go out of bounds. Now, there's a failsafe when you go out of bounds, and it spawns you in a predetermined location that's different per area. And for the whole outside section, it just so happens to be right next to Evan down here at the Platinum Strip. So I was here, and then I jumped out of bounds here and teleported all the way over here. That saves a lot of time. If you can't get that jump down, you can just skate over here. But, yeah. Just walk right on over, start the fight. For Evan, you're just going to use the 6-shooter. Same rules apply. Don't shoot him too fast, or you won't do damage. You'll do less damage. For Evan, the name of the game is to stay moving. You don't want that to happen. So you want to be holding away from him, like directly back or like left, right at all times. Because if you stand still, he's going to like freeze you. So you want to, okay, I mean, just trying to talk while I'm doing things. Talking pause and stuff. But you want to just back up from him. Oops. I kind of started walking forward as I realized I was on the stairs, but alright, man. Whatever. It's near impossible to die in this fight, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, Evan doesn't really do a lot of damage. So even if you do get frozen, like, yeah, you're gonna lose some time, but he should never really be able to kill you. All you gotta do is back up and shoot him with the 6-shooter. That was crazy. Nice standy. Wow, I am not showing this off well. I've been playing a lot of co-op, in which case I don't fight this boss, but whatever. Evan is the only boss to have a full cutscene into another phase like this, where he falls off his stilts and he gets a lot faster. Same rules apply. Just back up from him. He's going to jump on you and do this. You do damage when you kick him off, but... Oh, nice zombie. Whatever. Just back up from Evan. That is the name of the game. Just back up from him. Shoot him with the 6-shooter. The boss is very straightforward. There's not a lot to talk about. So just back up from Evan and shoot him with the 6-shooter. If you didn't get the coffee creamer, you can grab an ice cream here to make a quick step later. But we got the coffee creamer, so whatever. I grab the bike. And we're going to drive straight over to Atlantica to fight the magicians. So just going to arrive right on over here. Now, the magicians, Reed and Roger. More than any other fight. What in the world? All right, sure. Never seen that before. So, Reed and Roger. More than any other fight in this game. Like, obviously, you know, if you're going to play all bosses, you need to practice all the bosses. If you're going to practice and you're going to sit there in the lab and do, like, any boss for, like, an hour straight, make it these guys. Because not only are they difficult and can kill you a lot, but you need to be able to improvise. A lot of what they do isn't really consistent every time. So you want to know how to deal with every situation as it comes up. But the general... I'm going to have to explain this before I start because it's going to just be very fast. So I'm going to start the fight with the 6-shooter in my hand. When doing Evan, you should have enough ammo. All you really need to do, like, realistically speaking, you should only have like 2 to 3 shots. Like, 2 to 3 shots is perfectly fine here. If you don't use all your ammo, you're going to need to drop it after this fight anyway. So 2 to 3 shots is whatever. You just need it to start the fight. So I'm going to start the fight with my 6-shooter in my hand, and I'm just going to tap X twice from my neutral standing position. Those shots are going to hit Roger and make him stop for a second. While he's deciding what to do, pull out your shotgun and walk up left to block his path.
Oops. Probably help if I started the fight. You're gonna pull your shotgun and then walk up left to cut off his path, and then use the shotgun to do as much damage on Roger as possible before he walks off. Again, treat him like Brandon. Like bait him out. All right. Normally, Reed's gonna do this charging attack. He has multiple different attacks. He has like a regular like spinny swing. He has that charge, and he can also shoot you with fireworks if you're too far away. So no matter what you do in this fight, keep an eye on Reed because you don't want to get too far away from him and have him shoot you. But if he does that charge like that, you can camera cancel it. And also be aware because once Reed hits you with this attack, it brings Roger back towards you. So like if I can get him to do it again. No, he's gonna shoot me. Anyway, it's probably easier if I try and do it without all the pausing, but once Reed hits you with that charge attack, it brings Roger back towards you, and if Roger is close enough, you can try and get more damage on him. But ideally, you want to just get as much damage on Roger as you can before he runs away. Or even if Roger is still attacking you, if Reed is going to start charging, just get ready and cancel it. Like that. So Roger didn't walk that far away from me, so I know he's still right here. And get him a little bit more damage on him. With Reed, you want to just do the same thing you've been doing on a lot of other bosses. Let him attack you. Swing him down with your laser sword. If he does that attack, just block it with your camera. And you want to just rinse repeat for Reed. When Roger gets close, pull out your shotgun. You can get like double hits on them if you're like if they're close enough to each other, and you can use your shotgun to hit both of them at once. Or actually, also if Roger is in front of Reed's charge attack, he'll also take damage from it. So you can try and use that to your advantage as well. But mainly, this fight consists of Roger is going to run away no matter what you do. Also, I should talk about that. Both of these guys have weaknesses. Roger's weakness is to light and explosions, and in old routes, you used to craft like the Blambo and use it to stun him and stuff. We don't do that anymore. It's just not fast. Reed's weakness is if he's in his idle walking around animation and you hit him like when his back is facing you, like I just did before, he will get knocked over and take a lot of damage. So if you can get a sneak attack on Reed like that, take it, but you're not going to fish for it. This is a lot of what I talk about where I'm like, this fight is a lot of improvising. And if you're going to put a lot of practice into any fight, make it this one. Just trust me and thank me later. If you get hit by, but like I said, like if you get hit by Reed, be ready for Roger to turn back around because he'll be like, oh, you're vulnerable and I can attack you again. Like that. But with Reed, it's literally just a pretty simple rinse repeat of this cycle where he swings at you and then you back up and hit him with your sword. Your main deciding factor for how good of a magician you're going to get is how much damage can you get on Roger before he leaves, or how much damage can you get on Roger quickly. Roger is the one who's going to be holding up and deciding your main time in this fight. Reed is technically more dangerous because you don't want to get shot by him, but he's more consistent because he's just going to do a melee attack that is very easy for you to dodge and then continue to do that over and over again. Roger is going to run away from you and try and attack you when Reed is hit you or when he thinks he can or whatever. Or if he hits you and he knocks you down, he'll run away as well. See, this is going to be a good fight because I have already done so much damage to Roger. And I'm going to get a sneak attack here? No, never mind. That's fine. Just no matter where you are, you want to just put as much damage into Roger as you possibly can. That is what is the deciding factor that makes this strat so good. It makes it faster. Because normally, or I say normally, but before this strat was invented, it was like
fight Reed and then fight Roger. But the problem with that is that Roger was like near max HP, and then you gotta like chase him down, and it's just not fun. If you have your 6-shooter, you can use it like that. Like I said, you only really need the 2 shots to start the fight, but any shots you have after that is just extra. You can use it however you see fit on either one of them, but usually, like traditionally for Reed, I would say just use your laser sword. I could do this fight like 1 or 2 more times, but like I said, this fight is really just going to be a lot of improvising. Just beware of the fact that I got mixed up there a little bit. But just be aware of the fact that you are going to camera cancel that attack where Roger or Reed does the charge. You should always be at full HP when you start this fight, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna level up during Evan. But just be aware of the fact that you want to, just don't die, essentially. But you do want to camera cancel that attack when you can. It's like right here, if like I still have my 6-shooter, I would just kind of like do that. Go find Roger. Now Roger's like way over here. He's like half HP. He's gonna be really annoying. If I can get him in a lock like this, like it'd be fine. But like, dude, when you gotta like chase Roger down, like this loses so much time. I hate it. I hate this. So like, the whole point is you want to deal, like, always prioritize Roger, because he's the one who's going to run away from you. Reed is going to be in the same place essentially no matter what. So always, 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 whenever you can safely get damage on Roger, prioritize Roger. But yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. Let me just try and get a good fight, and then well, I'm not gonna count that one. If that happens to you, that's fine. You can just get more damage on Roger when he comes back around the second time. But I really want to just kind of show off what a good fight looks like, and then I'm gonna continue on because, like I said, more than any other fight in this game, just know how to improvise this one. You kind of gotta play it by ear. Sometimes you can kill Roger on the first swing around before he even leaves. That's really, really fast. Other times you get a lot more damage on him right now because like right there, Reed hit Roger. His attacks can hit him. So if you you can also get a lot of damage on Roger when he comes back the second time, like that, like right there. Friendly fire, team kill. Bam. Drop all your weapons that you just used. You don't need any of them. But yeah, that's Magicians, Reed and Roger. That fight is tough, and it will kill you a lot. Just be ready. They're also the last optional boss. They're the last boss that you don't need to defeat to beat the game. So yeah, congrats. After this, you see I'm getting prompted by Zombrix again, but as you are probably already used to by now, I'm not going to take it right away. I'm actually going to skate over here and grab this wine. You're going to need that for later. I like to skate ahead and get a jump here. You can jump off the stairs to get a moon jump and get up here. You're going to need the LMG and the juice boost, so... Oh. Nice. That... That's hilarious. So there's actually 2 ways to get up here. I'm going to show this off real quick. I have knee drop. I just kind of tried to do it. When you're leaving the arena, you can go off to the right because you spawn over there. You go like in front of you and you can go off to this sign here. And get the juice boost. And then the juice boost is here, LMG is right there. You can do it that way, or you can do it the way I prefer to do it, which is the way I just showed it off. Mind you, loading this checkpoint here is going to have the door closed, so you're not gonna... Oops. Don't want to drink that. I'm gonna need that for later. So let's say this door was open, because it would be normally, right? If you have enough speed, you can get a moon jump like I did and skip one of the jumps here. And then you can jump straight from that rock onto here. Just like the lower section. If you're bold, you do what I do. If you get at least one kick out here, you have enough speed to cross over that gap. Grab the juice boost. Get up out of here. Now, if you remember way earlier back in Palisades after Slappy, when I picked up the skateboarding book, I said that you want the sports book to be next to your skateboard and not the skateboarding magazine. Here's why. So much like the first Zombrex that we took in the run, this mission triggers when you take your Zombrex. So if you go up to this section and then take your Zombrex, it will immediately trigger the mission and it'll skip your Zombrex animation, right? But also, like I said, when you take a Zombrex, you drop whatever item is in your hand. I have a full inventory right now, so I cannot unequip before I go up the ladder. But I'm going to need to drop this sports book anyways. I need to drop it very soon, as soon as I start this next mission, in fact. So what I like to do is I get off my board, switch to my sports book, which is going to be right next to my skateboard if you've done everything like I've already said, then activate the roof. When I get up here, I'm just going to spam left to get my Zombrex. I've taken the Zombrex, and then it gives me another cutscene because the next mission has started. This is when all the gas zombies spawn, and you need to deal with Boykin and all that whole cutscene. But you need to be up here on the rooftop to start that mission, and the mission starts when you take your Zombrex. So just go up there and then take it. And like I said, make sure you have your sports book in your hand, because whatever you have in your hand, you're going to drop, and it's going to be gone forever. But you don't need that sports book, and you're going to see why right now. That is the last Zombrex that Frank has to take, at least. So now, with all those gas zombies spawned in, you want to go on over here to this bar here. I'm going to go onto the skateboard straight to the back. Switch to your juice boost and pick up the shotgun, or just switch to whatever. Like, you want the shotgun next to the LMG. So however you're going to do that, like, you just switch over, just have the shotgun next to the LMG. It doesn't really matter what order, but just do that. So with that coffee creamer and the wine, we grabbed them earlier to make 2 quick steps. Both of these ingredients can be combined with orange juice, and there's orange juice here in the bar to make quick step. No, not the beer. Give me that. So boom. So you go into the bar, grab the shotgun from the back, and you grab 2 quick steps. You're gonna use coffee creamer plus wine, or coffee creamer plus orange juice, and wine plus orange juice make quick step. You might have also remembered me mentioning earlier before Evan that you kind of don't need to grab the coffee creamer, and the reason why is I mentioned that there's ice cream on the ground after you defeat Evan. You could pick up the ice cream instead of the coffee creamer, and ice cream plus beer also makes a quick step, and there is a beer right there. So there you go. You can do it that way as well. I like to climb up on the stage to go this way because there's just less zombies. It's a little bit like, it's more about durability. Your board will almost always be flashing here, especially because you dropped the sports book. But it's fine because it really only needs to last until you get right here to start Boykin. So I like to just go over the stage. It saves me a little bit of durability. Boykin, you can do 4 kicks, and if you're cool, you can enter this fight with a lot of momentum. If you're holding down right, like this, when you spawn in, you won't bonk. So let me just show you what happens if I don't hold anything. Well, if I had momentum, I would bonk straight into that pillar and take a lot of damage. Other thing about this file specifically, you see my experience is barely not enough to have gotten a level up after Magicians. You can heal either in the bar where you make the quick steps or right after Magicians. If you're scared of Boykin, Boykin, he does a lot of, he's kind of like a Brandon. Like, he does a lot of damage, but realistically, it's, I mean, he has a lot of range, I guess, but it's this area is not too dangerous. Anyway, so you want to skate on straight over to Boykin, and then you want to pull out your shotgun. I went the long way around. And yet again, treat him like Brandon. But if he starts rolling, stop shooting because you're not going to do any damage while he's rolling. He has a lot more range than you think he does. He can Spartan kick you from very far away, so just give yourself a little bit of extra range. And much like Carl, I like to not use that last shot of the shotgun because also much like Carl, I was too far away from him, so he started shooting me. As you can see, Boykin's LMG does way more damage than yours, and you just kind of die. So I had like 3 blocks there, and he shot me once, and I died. That was my fault for trying to back up because I was also talking. Just don't get too far away from Boykin. That's also the reason why we skate over to him before we start doing anything, because you should always like throw a grenade. If you shoot him first, he can just retaliate by shooting you back immediately from across the room, and you don't want that to happen. So, as I was gonna say, much like Carl, you want well, I like to save 1 bullet in the shotgun. Not necessarily for any reason like, oh, it's like more damage later on, anything like that. Am I dead here? It's more just about the fact that I don't want to deal with the durability running out. And then getting hit because my shotgun ran out of ammo. After that, you just want to switch to the LMG and essentially just do the exact same thing. Until he dies, like that. So let me just try and do it one time. But essentially, you know, you got Brandon, and then you got Randy, who's Brandon with big chainsaw, and then you got Amber, who is Brandon but fast and has a friend, and then you got Brandon with the gun. So just treat him like Brandon. Just go forward, back up. I'm probably shooting a little fast. I don't think I was getting max damage there. Get a little close to him while he rolls, but be careful because he can like get out of a roll and immediately kick you, and you really do not want that to happen. And much like Randy, you need to save at least 1 bullet here. So you could drop the shotgun or you can use it to finish him off, but just put the quick step in your hand either way. You're gonna need to carry Rebecca here, which is why we made quick step, because you can't skateboard while carrying Rebecca. Skateboarding is faster than quick step, but you know, you need a quick step here because you're carrying her. On top of that, that's why we grabbed Juice Boost. That makes your quick step last 3 times longer. So not only is it going to last for the entirety of the time you get back to the safe house, it is also going to last for enough time for you to get the first item during the breach. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But essentially right now, all I'm doing is returning to the safe house, this time while carrying Rebecca. In old routes, we would use the sports key because we would have bought it here, but while it is faster to get to the door of the safe house with the sports car, because you have to like drop Rebecca and pick her back up, it ends up kind of breaking even or even being a little bit slower than just walking with quickstep because you can just open the door while carrying Rebecca. On top of that, not getting the sports key allows us to route out some extra money we would have gotten. So it just ends up being faster to not get the car, unfortunately. So anyway, yeah, that enough of that. I'm gonna drink some water while you have our little Rebecca walking montage. Yeah, you can notice like you can just open that door. If you had the car, you would need to get out of the car to open the door and then pick her back up. And it's just like, just walk. Here, we're gonna discover that the safe house is not quite so safe anymore. There's gonna be a break-in, someone sabotaged the safe house, and yeah, we're tasked with getting 3 items. Right now, I still have a quick step. I'm gonna immediately walk backwards and grab the generator here. By the time I put this generator here, I'm gonna just drink my quick step. So that would be enough time to go and get the last 2 items. I like to put the juice boost book in my hand while I'm doing this because I know I'm gonna drop it. So yeah, um, it just makes it a little more convenient. There is a terrifying soft lock that can happen during this mission. You need these 3 items to complete the mission. But if you get grabbed by a zombie or something, you drop the item, it can phase through one of these doors, and those doors are locked during this mission, so you can't open the door to get the item. So if the item phases in, like you have, oops. So yeah, just try not to let that happen. Smile. You also cannot skateboard here, despite being able to swing your weapon. Like, I get that you can't skateboard in the safe house normally, but like you could swing your weapon during the breach. So I don't know why you can't skateboard, but that's also another reason why it's just convenient to make quick steps there, and that's why we make 2 instead of 1. Uh, as soon as I'm done with this matching, I'm going to drop this juice boost, by the way, just before the fade out, because I'm going to need as much inventory space as I can get. So immediately, you're going to walk forward and remember to give TK his Zombrex. If you don't, you will not trigger the overtime or the true ending, and you will be cooked. So just remember to do that. Just gonna walk forward over to the right. Give TK his Zombrex. You can just hold down right during that and walk straight out. Now, the only lead. Essentially, skateboard, 2 underground, do the thing, come back. But I'm going to use this opportunity because I have I have a lot of inventory spots right now. To grab some skateboards that I'm going to use for the end of the game and overtime, but I'm also going to grab some food. I like to just grab this hot dog here on the counter because you're most likely going to need food at some point when doing this mission, and it's better to just be safe. You already have to get off the skateboard there, so it's not like you're doing some extra get off your skateboard, get back on your skateboard. You also have a little bit of quick step still, so it's like if you're gonna grab food anyway, you might as well just grab that while you're going in there, and then just fill up the rest of your inventory with skateboards. So I almost went the wrong way. I want to go through Slot Ranch here. Essentially, we're going to be going back to that same area that we went to go fight Derek earlier, but we're going to go underground because Frank realized that the gas was coming from underground, and so that's probably where he needs to go to find out what's going on. Just going straight over here, open the door, do a little roll for style points. The reason why you want to fill up the rest of your inventory with skateboards, by the way, is just like you have the space, you might as well, and also you're gonna want skateboards for overtime. If you were doing like regular time skip or something, you would need all those skateboards, but I mean, this isn't a time skip tutorial, so. And time skip essentially being this game's version of any percent for those unaware. All right. If you're cool, you can get a moon jump and cut that corner there, but it doesn't really save a lot. You want to just skateboard forward onto the stairs and go past these guys to the end of the hall. Put your LMG in your hand, get ready for the hardest boss fight in the game.
Boom, done. I actually almost died there. I'm not gonna lie. I like tried to be cool and hit fire, and it didn't work. But whatever, man. That's Mark and Pierce. You can just kind of shoot them, and they die. You know, a lot like regular people. Even that's hilarious. I didn't even know that guy was there. That's what I get for hanging out and talking rather than just continuing on. That's really funny. Oh, you spawn here? Dude, that's messed up. Yeah, anyway, normally you would just do that fight and you would just kind of hold forward. But, I mean, they're the hardest boss in the game, so, you know. Anyway, do that again. Just jump over, hit the button. See if I can get the cool moon jump. Nope. It's fine. If you don't get it, just get off your board. Get back on the board at the top of the stairs here. You don't need to. You can kill those guys with your LMG if you really want to, but you don't need to, so just don't. Same thing applies as earlier. You want to save a couple of bullets in your LMG, but these guys actually do a good amount of damage because they can stun lock you. But other than that, as you can see, they really have like no HP. So I would have died there if I had one block. I couldn't camera cancel fast enough because of the save screen. That's really funny. But anyway, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Hold forward after you kill those guys. Get in the elevator. Takes you back out here, and then just return to the safe house. See, I died. I died in that split, so that's how you know that they're the hardest boss in the game. This is not cap, by the way. It's totally cap. Again, you can open the door, you can kick the glass, whatever. I'm just the timer's not on. I'm being bad at the video game. There's no pressure, so I'm not you know, whatever. Skateboard is already flashing. I've been a little reckless with it. I mean, there's a lot of zombies in that underground section, so you're kind of bound to run over a lot, but this is why you want to grab a lot of boards. I'm not even really concerned about it because I'm not going to need to do a whole lot more skateboarding. Well, I kind of do, but I have other boards, so. There you go. You start the facts. This is the last mission in the main mode where you find out, whoa, Stacy, wow, crazy. Anyway, yeah, she shoots Rebecca and Solomon, and then she works for Phoenix. You gotta go. I mean, if I assume if you're this far in, probably what, like 3 hours into this. By the way, I know I'm an absolute yapper, but sometimes you need a long rambly tutorial to just put on in the background. Um, just Yeah, if you're 3 hours into this, I would assume you know this by now, but whatever. I'm already going the wrong direction. There's a really funny thing here. Once you leave there, you want to go through Americana. And I can explain what. Nice. All right, whatever. That newspaper stand is evil. At this point, the Phenotrans agents can spawn with the blast frequency gun. That thing is evil. It doesn't do like damage to you, but if you get hit by it, you'll start throwing up, and it's like that state is so terrible. Oh, I wanted to show this off real quick. So if you watch this cutscene, there's a really funny reason why we go through Americana here. If you watch this cutscene, you'll notice that Frank is in Fortune Park, like in the center. He walked out by like frame makers and stuff.
right? You notice I'm here. This is not where I walked out from. I went from the safe house through Americana and out here, so I should have spawned here. But because the game always expects you to walk through Royal Flush, it will teleport you here no matter what. So normally, instead of being here, you would be here. This is useful because it's actually faster to go through Americana to get outside, but it puts you further away from where you need to go. But it's fine because the game always teleports you when you start this mission, no matter what. Because normally I would have walked out of the door here. This is significant because I need to go from here and skateboard back up to the bike, and so me being here instead of here is kind of huge. But yeah, the game does teleport you. Um, it always teleports you to the same spot once you go outside during this mission, regardless of where you started. So that's cool. This mission, by the way, is the reason why you're going to want to pick up some backup food. I've got that hot dog on me, so I'm not too worried about it. But there's another hot dog and a bunch of beers right here as I just escaped past. So, gonna eat some food, make the LMG bike like I did earlier, and then we're gonna destroy some harvesters. So, I forgot just how many, like the exact number there are, but I am gonna show you the route. Um, Important thing to note. This is the second time I've made the LMG bike now, but this is the first time where there's actually kind of a danger of you running out of ammo. You don't really want to shoot zombies that are in your way unless you like kind of like are confident, I guess. This, like I said, this bike does not have infinite ammo. It still has the same 200 that the normal LMG does. So just be aware of that. But first things first, you're gonna go on over here like you were going towards Boykin. And there's two NPCs here, Private Cuss and Sergeant Wu. They're kind of like survivors of the military, but you don't care. You can talk to them if you're really that desperate for a level up, but it's pretty slow. After that, you're gonna make your way back on over here towards like the slot ranch or like where Randy is. That's harvester number 2. Then you're gonna go around to the sign. That's harvester number 3. Then you're gonna go over to in front of Uranus Zone where there's harvester number 4. And then around here in front of the hotel is harvester number 5. And you're gonna go straight across to the maintenance room, back to kind of where you spawned, for harvester number 6. You'll see just how much damage I took while on this bike, by the way. This is why you want to heal before you do this. It's number 7. It's down here in front of the movie theater. And then number 8 is then the last one, so there's 8 of them. Right on over here, like where Evan would spawn at. And when you destroy the last one, it will teleport you back to in front of Uranus Zone, which is convenient because that's where you're going anyway. Another thing about this is, notice in front of me, there's still the destroyed harvester and the Phenotrans guy spawned in. They can shoot me and I can die. As you've been seeing me do, you can load a checkpoint in this game. I guess I never really mentioned that, but you get a checkpoint at every screen, so it's convenient for practice and stuff. You can just load this checkpoint as soon as you're done with that, and they're gone. They despawn because their condition to be there is the mission happening, and the mission is over. So you can just load the checkpoint as soon as you destroy the last harvester, and you have a much easier time going through the Uranus Zone. And remember, as I said at the start, loading in this game is not timed. So you can load the checkpoint and it won't. The only time you'll lose is however long it takes you to do that, which is essentially just pause up. What is it? Pause up a. Pause up a. Up a. You can do it really fast if you're, if you practice at it. But you should slow down and make sure you don't accidentally quit the game because that would be very tragic. Nice. So, yeah, just load the checkpoint. And you will like lose time on the pause screen technically, but you're not going to lose as much time as you would lose if you got shot by that guy. So I can tell you that. I can tell you that much. So here with the Stacy fight, you want to grab the sledgehammer. You might have been like, "Oh man, you didn't grab any weapons for this final fight." It's because the best weapons for the final fight are already here. Phase one, you're just gonna do double swings with the sledgehammer, like I showed off way at the beginning, and then just camera cancel. That's it. Sledgehammer does a lot of damage. Its main thing is that it has a lot of end lag. But like when you have a camera, what is end lag? You know? So this phase is pretty self-explanatory. Hitting the electric parts of the claws does do more damage than hitting like down here, the metal section. So keep that in mind, get a little closer. From here, you're gonna skate on over to this maintenance room back here. We're gonna make the last combo weapon of the run, the Exsanguinator. This weapon just has, just has really good hit detection on Stacy, for whatever reason. So you just go ahead and make it here. If you're worried, there is a vodka and an orange juice here in the tunnel for heals. But just get back over here. Start the Exsanguinator. So one thing to mention about Stacy, if you're too far away, like if you're close to like the entrance of the fight, um, she'll shoot missiles. But if you get too close to the robot, there's kind of like these air streamed. Let's see if I can show this off. I'm gonna drop the weapon over here so she doesn't destroy it. But if you're too close, like if you're up here, that happens. So you don't want to be too close. You don't want to be too far away because you don't want missiles. You kind of want to just be in this middle section, like here somewhere. I wanted to talk about that real quick because that's pretty important. Other than that, this fight does have a lot of RNG in it, unfortunately. So sometimes she just throws boxes like that, destroys that zombie. But you really want is for her to attack with the claws so you can attack her. The attack she does can be influenced slightly by where you are in the arena. So you want to just be like, usually, like, I kind of think about it as close as possible that I'm not going to get hit by the window jets. If you get really lucky or if you get some good hits in, you can use the Exsanguinator to finish this phase in only like 2 attacks from Stacy. But most of the time it's going to be 3, and that's fine. Drop this. Oh man, all those survivors are dying. It's crazy. So, phase 3. I'm going to take a second to talk about phase 3. So, you need to use those missile platforms that just opened up to hit Stacy with missiles so you can fight her and start a QTE, right? But when you do this, you want to make sure you turn back towards her and look. She can get like this perch move where she will kind of just use the robot and sit really high above the arena, and if you try and shoot the missiles at her while that state is happening, it won't do anything. So if she's really high up, don't start it. I also don't know what the exact time is, but these boxes are on a cooldown. There's only 2 of them, yet you need to do 3 QTEs to beat Stacy. If you're lucky, hold on, let me do this QTE. This is actually random, unlike BB, so you do need to react. I mean, you have a lot of time, really, to do it, so it should be fine, but losing a run to hitting the wrong button kind of sucks. Anyway, you might have heard me mention that there are 2 boxes, but you need 3 attacks. You might have also heard me mention that you can slightly influence her attacks by where you're standing. Stacy has a slam attack where she'll slam the entire mech on the ground, and you have a very little time to get up and start a QTE early. You can kind of influence this to be slightly more likely by just standing under her as she's picking an attack. And if you do it now, you're not really losing time because you kind of need to wait for the first missile box to come back anyway. So you can do this. Well, alright, game. We're just not... I got robbed, man. Whatever. You have very, very little time to start the QTE. Oh, she perched? So that's the perch, right? The messed up part about that is she did it after I hit the missiles. So now I'm just kind of SOL. I need to hit her with missiles 2 more times. Yet I need to wait for the boxes now because that can happen. Like literally, like that when I said, "Oh, make sure that she's not perched before you start the attack." There's also just a chance that she can do it after you hit the missiles, but before they contact her, and it's kind of messed up. It doesn't happen that often, but as you can see, it just happened to me right then. So, uh, hashtag get luckier, lol. I don't know. Let's see if I can get the slam to happen again before that left box recharges. Nope, it's back. Make liberal use of your dodge roll in this fight here, by the way. It can dodge a lot of her attacks, so. I mean, heck, it's in the name. Anyway, yeah, that's Stacy. That was actually a pretty good phase 1 and phase 2, except for the part where I was explaining stuff. But the phase 3 kind of owned me, but that's Stacy in a nutshell. Get used to it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. um After fighting Stacy, Frank goes back to the safe house. You know, overtime starts because he realizes TK is not there. Blah 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 blah. And he goes save Rebecca. One really really strange thing that happens when overtime starts. We don't know why. You know, whatever. But like, you can get what we call wonky boarding. Okay. So what you would do to clear that out is as soon as you go back through here into Royal Flush, you just load a checkpoint. But I do kind of want to show you, like, let's see if I have it. My skateboarding looks normal. And, yeah, this can happen. And you, don't really want to deal with that. You can, hold on, let's see if I can. Oh, that is so funny. Wait, I want to go see if I can get up to where the ninja stuff is with this. But yeah, you can get wonky boarding where you just kind of levitate, and it's not something you want to deal with. It goes away when you load a checkpoint. So as soon as you get to Royal Flush, just load a checkpoint. But like, yo, oh, that's a screenshot right there. Hold on, I need. That's funny. Yeah, yeah. Am I stuck? Oh, I'm surprised I only took 1 damage for that. To be honest. Yeah, yeah. So that's wonky boarding. Anyway, when you go through from the safe house to Royal Flush, just load a checkpoint. You can technically load a checkpoint while you're in the safe house, but it's another one of those things where it's like the door will be opened when you get there the first time, but if you load a checkpoint, it'll be closed, so you lose slight time for opening the door. Anyway, just go on over to Americana. Overtime is essentially one big on rail section. You just need to collect a bunch of items that TK tasks you to get. He blackmailed you because he kidnapped Rebecca, and he tells Frank to get a bunch of stuff so that she can like live and stuff. I camera canceled. Okay, I don't want this. Thank you. Anyway, first thing is over here in Americana. Let's get the photo. Uh, And then you're gonna go on over to the pharmacy, back where you started, and you got your first Zombrex. That's where the second item is. All you really need in overtime is your book and a bunch of boards. So you can actually jump this time, so just jump over the counter. There's two guys in here. You want to take a wide turn to ideally not get grabbed there. If you just like go like far left and then swoop back in, but gas zombies have a lot of range. It's like more often than not, you're just gonna get grabbed there, and you just kind of gotta hold that. But it's fine. The pharmacy, grab the item. All of overtime is just get the item, go to the next place, go to the arena at the end. So and the third item is over here in the slot ranch. Back over here where we destroyed the drill. I forgot to mention this earlier during Run for the Money, but if you didn't heal with a coffee creamer in Royal Flush like I did, there is a whiskey in here that you can grab. So yeah, just use the whiskey to heal if you need to before you get out to that left hallway where the food court is. But from Slot Ranch, you're gonna leave through this section over here to the Silver Strip. Then we're gonna go over to the bar where we got the shotgun and made the quick steps before Boykin. And then we're gonna go through the door here to go to Palisades after this. Got some champagne. If you're ever wondering, by the way, where the Viking helmet is, it's right there, the sportsman helmet. You just don't need it for the boost in the outfit. And this is also a key that's here that we don't get in this new route, but yeah. Palisades, the item here is in the sports shop on the second floor that I showed off if you were doing the Shotgun Randy route, where their skateboards are. Because there are skateboards here, you can grab them if you really need some, but 2.5 skateboards should be totally fine for me. I went over to the skateboards I was talking about it. Items here. Jump. From here, you're going to go through Atlantica and then go to Uranus Zone for the next item. Something about overtime is because it's the very end of the game, you don't really need to be, like, super stingy with your skateboards. So you can kind of, like... I'm going to drop that skateboard there just because it was already flashing. The 2 skateboards should be enough to do what I need to do, and I'd rather not get the time loss from, like, the skateboard breaking. So it's like, whatever, I'll just drop it. I hope that made sense. You can go straight to the left from Atlantica and go into Uranus Zone. This item is on over here in this first aid section. It's to the right. Then we're going to go on over here to the underground access of Uranus Zone. It is on the other side of the park. You could go all the way around, but it's actually way faster to just go on over here and press up to unequip and punch the glass. Up on the D-pad to unequip, punch the glass. Skips going all the way around, like where you fought Stacy and all that. And as you can see, something that you kind of pick up when you play this game a lot is you kind of just know. Like, you're gonna bonk. Just camera canceling is such a muscle memory thing at this point. I do it on reaction more so than I do it, like, preemptively. If I know, if like I react to the fact that I bonked, you can just camera cancel, and then you're fine. So I mean, you've been seeing me do it over the course of this entire playthrough, but yeah, camera canceling is definitely something that you want to ingrain into your muscle memory as fast as you can. You can bonk there to then camera cancel on your way down. It's pretty funny. This train is weird. You want to try and climb this box here, but it's like not letting me climb. There we go. Can do a knee drop here to cancel your fall damage. And then jump over the rail. Now we just need to go to the arena. I'm gonna wanna normally you would be full HP because you wouldn't be like bonking and stuff because I'm not really paying attention because oh my I'm bonking like crazy. You'd be full HP here because you get a level after fighting Stacy, and you ideally would be paying attention way more than I am currently. It's been 3 hours, actually more than that because that break was a lot longer. But you just would have full HP, so you don't gotta worry about it. There's a burger, like right, yeah. You ideally want to have as much HP as possible before this next section. The reason why is going to become very apparent very quickly. So, climb over the barricade like you did earlier and go off to the left here. Nice jump scare zombie. And you start the last arena segment. For here, the knee drop is your best friend, but you're tasked with staying alive. I think it's about 3 minutes, it might be a little longer. But you kind of just tasked with survive. Literally, just don't die. Except it's much like the intro of the game, except for the fact that you can actually die when you can't die in the intro. And also, there are gas zombies, and they do a lot of damage, and they're scary. And yeah. So around this first ring, you want to grab all of the stuff. There's there's like 4 food items. There's a 2x4 and a baseball bat. You want to just grab all that stuff. You can kill these zombies. It would make the arena lower faster, but like you gotta just leave anyway. There's no reason for me to start the arena lowering quicker when this is a timed event. It only ends after a set time. And like it's not dependent on you killing zombies. It's not dependent on like anything other than just how long have you been here? And you just gotta make sure you survive. This section is very, very oh yeah, funny little thing there. The game expects you to pick up the phone, so you can just get a call from TK, even though you've already collected everything. But whatever. Um, just just survive. This section is a little nerve-wracking because if you die here, like your run is dead. Like if you die here, you lose a lot of time. I like to try and kind of train them around the center arena as much as I can until I gather up a lot of zombies like that, and then I like to hit the nearest grinder to me. That's just kind of what I do. All those years of COD zombies will really help you out here if you've got that like me. Make sure to use your knee drop. It is your best friend. It will knock down all zombies in the area, and it also prevents you from taking fall damage. So do not be afraid to heal here. You have 4 healing items for a reason, and also there are healing items during TK. So like it's just yeah, like healing might be like, oh man, like I might be getting caught because there's things that can catch up to me while I'm healing, but like it's much better to just heal than it is to die. So Do every single thing you can in your power to not die here. I have died here on PB pace before, world record pace even, and it was very, very heartbreaking. So, do as I say, and don't do that. Once all 4 of the corners of the arena are down, I kind of like tend to just walk around the outside edge. Yeah, there you go. It's already done. You can just walk around the outside edge for a little bit. Of your 2 weapons, the baseball bat and the 2x4, the 2x4 is actually slightly more powerful, so. When he does a big swing like that, you can camera cancel it, but. I mean, goes away like that, you have a chance to heal. Be very careful. He can pop up right there, or there he is. When TK pops back up, the first thing he will do is he will try and find you, and then once he sees you, he will try and do this big charging attack. If you get hit by it, you'll get put in QTE land, so you really don't want to get hit by that. You can try and heal Rebecca, less so because you actually need to heal Rebecca. You're going to kill TK before that matters, and more so because sometimes it baits him out into coming back into the arena early. Same thing with you healing. Just kind of does that sometimes. But other than that, like, TK is not a hard boss, but again, you know, if you die here, your run is very, very, very dead. Because you don't even just get put back in this fight. You get put back at the start of the arena segment. So, yeah. Don't die. And also, this fight sucks because he takes, as you notice, he takes all of your items away when you go into the arena segment. I think you just gotta kind of use nothing on him. So, just hide around the center cover while he does that charge attack. But other than that, there you go. That is Dead Rising 2 off the record. All bosses, new game. I have been Mars, and it has been 3.5 hours. So thank you for watching. I hope I know I be yapping. I'm sorry. But I kind of tend to like a little more of these long rambly tutorials because it lets me get like a lot more of my thoughts out than trying to just kind of do a run and commentate it, because the timer being on is gonna kind of entice me to, do the thing fast, but being able to just kind of do it in this chill, laid back setting like this, I think is a little better for me being able to get out everything that I want to get out. So there you go. But there you go. Wow. No, I really hope there wasn't a jump scare zombie into some really, really loud jazz music. But there you go. I'm out of here. I might cut this down. I might not. I might just leave it as a long rambly video, but I'm done. Goodbye. Good luck on your runs and have fun.